Again.
We could be lords of the fourth because it's a lord and a lady. We could like be a potato and Brussels sprouts or something, or maybe some asparagus.
Well, the reason that is nine hells is Hollywood Squares has nine squares,
Okay.
and
Ah,
s-
so we're going to be
Love
answering.
it.
and so would Hollywood Squares.
Hollywood Squares.
Hollywood.
See, and I thought it was all because of Dante. Silly me.
Well, yeah, nine layers, but for nine Hollywood Squares, so we got nine.
For sure, for sure. He was a forward thinker.
And I think
And who gets to
the
play Paul Lynde?
I think the
I love Paul Lynde. He was such a.
well, yeah, and you could kind of base your character on somebody that's a well-known Hollywood Squares dude if you wanted to, but essentially like
I don't think I
so
could do a very good Whoopi Goldberg. So I
yeah, well,
try.
that's it's up to you there. So let's see, we got we're talking about this live on stream now, so this is great. But we're talking. So we could do. So there's the first layer of Avernus is Zerial currently, I believe, but I can't remember who the first layer was. The ninth layer is Asmodeus.
Lord of the First is Bell.
Yeah, Baal. Yeah. So
His belt. She
it said the Beauty
No,
and the
it's
Beast
B.E.L..
Bell.
graduated from Beauty and the
When
Beast.
that asshole killed the beast, she
Ridgemont
just went
High.
nuts
Yes.
and
Exactly.
she studied in her books, her crazy books
Yeah.
that she reads all the time.
Oh, Bell, a powerful pit fiend. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, B-E-L. Yeah.
Yeah. I believe that.
She really is a funny girl, that Belle.
She is.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust that too much.
What about what's that?
See if there's any
Let
like.
me see.
Zugtamoy?
All right.
Zuckmoy
According to
is
the.
not a devil. She's a demon.
Oh, okay.
See, there's that.
All right. According to the fandom wiki, it's
Okay.
from first to ninth. It's Zariel, Despater,
Yep.
Minorius,
Minorius. Yep. Okay.
Archduke Belial,
Yep.
and his daughter
Fiorina. Fiorina. Yep.
Prince Lephistus,
Yep.
and Stygia, then Hag Countess, Mollux, and Malbolt
Yeah.
Pelage.
Yeah. I got. I still got Glassia for that one, but
Okay.
which is Asmodeus' daughter. But
Beelzebul, or
is that the is that the Forgotten Realms fandom wiki or that you're looking at?
No, it just says Dungeons and Dragons lore
okay.
wiki.
Okay.
I can send you a link to it if you want.
So any of those would be fair. Tina, any of the ones on the other thing that you're looking at would probably be fair. So you could be probably any of those, like Minoros, the third layer could be Mammon, or it could be I believe the third layer is also the frozen layer, which it could also be Titivolus, which Titivolus is also been frozen, and he's like encased in a block of ice.
Yeah, it's like everywhere you look, it's a bunch
I
of
disagree.
Zerial. See the Ian. What site do you think would be the most accurate?
Current accurate would be whatever one's
Yeah.
probably listing Zerial, but
Yeah, okay, I found one with Zerial. Avernus, Zerial, Elite Legendator, CR24. Jesus Christ.
Well, I didn't know
I
Jesus
wanna
Christ
say-
No,
was
no, he's
considered
not.
a lo-
He's in the other realm.
What if
Yeah.
somebody plays Asmodeus's wand, like answering for Asmodeus?
You could do that.
Whoa. Well, I know you think that men think
Uh,
with that
I
with
don't-
their wand.
I don't
but-
like to brag, but I'm Asmodeus's wand.
What if Asmodeus's wand is a sassy black girl and she's like, oh, better yet, a sassy gay man. Oh, I could do this.
You can't play more than one, Tina.
Tina just wants to.
Sassy gay man,
Tina just
black
wants to play
girl.
them all. Okay, so
Blaze them all.
so traditionally, the Lords of the Nine Hells were as follows. Lord of the First. What the heck is going on? It disappeared.
Ooh, is
on
that how
me.
you pronounce it?
Yeah, that's
You
it.
want to send us a
Yeah.
link to the one that you're looking at, Brian? So we're
Uh,
all on the same sheet of music?
no,
Okay.
because the idea was that you could use any of these people, but I will send you I will send you links to it, but dang it, where in the heck? Traditionally, it was Tiamat was the Lord of Avernus.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
Dispater was the Lord of Dis. Mammon was the Lord of Mineros. Belial was the Lord of Phlegathos. Geryon was the Lord of Stygia. Beelzebul was the
Right.
Lord of Malbolg. And apparently Beelzebul was also the Lord of Melidomini, but the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the sixth layer was ruled by Beelzebul through a grand viceroy named Moloch. Trying to find. It did something weird on me, and I didn't want it to. Where'd it go?
Okay, alright. I see Bell listed on this one page saying he was a former lord. That's okay though, you said it all works.
Well, I mean, your game might allow people that were former lords, and then that would be something that people could make fun of. Yeah, you're a former lord. How did
Right.
you get on here?
Right. That's why I said you could be anybody who has been a ruler or is a ruler or represents a ruler. So the reason that Tivlis he had actually taken over control of, I believe, like I said, I believe it was the third layer. It was from no, maybe it was the eighth layer. I don't know, but he had taken over one of the layers, and then he basically subverted one of the devils, took over their lair, and everything was all good and fine. And then he thought, well, hey, since I already took over this layer, I might as well just go for the whole shebang and went after the Nine Hells. Brendan, your camera went off and then went back on, and then now it's gone again. I don't know what happened there. But at any rate, so then basically Asmodeus got pissed off and encased him in a block of ice. Said, "Hey, you want to rule the frozen layer of hell? You go right ahead, and you're gonna do it from this block of ice."
Well, there you go.
And then, of course, somebody stepped in when
he went off to chill.
when he got chilled. See, Tivulus. Okay.
Yeah, the one I've got is great on I pulled up is great on talking about the realms, but not as much kind of dig for who is the ruler of them.
Okay.
Kanya is Dispater. Dispater.
Yeah, no. I mean,
Got his own song.
yeah, Dispater was the one that Tivulus took over. Essentially, is what I'm saying. Like, he subverted Dispater, and he was Dispater's trusted advisor and the de facto ruler.
Yep. There's no such thing as a trusted advisor in hell.
So Dispater, ruled the plane, but if you wanted to talk to the ruler or whatever, you talk to Tivulus. You never talk to Dispater anyways. But anyways, Tivulus got too big for his britches, and Asmodeus put him in his place. So,
Oh,
at any rate, so when last we left them, okay, so Tina, this is probably like Tina and Brandon. This is kind of a review for and Rich. This is kind of review for you guys. Um, but Michael, I'm gonna go over a couple things. There, we got house rules that we deal with here. So, the first house rule that we do is called shots. If you go to the thing in Discord right above this, there's a section called House Rules. You can look those over at your leisure if you'd like. Called shots. We do have basically what is everybody that does a called shot is at disadvantage regardless of the situation. And then each area of the body, depending on what it is, and this is just an example chart. Each area of the body has a different armor class. So, like let's say if you were fighting something with very small eyes, the armor class thing might be higher. If you're fighting with something with very thick armor in certain places, the armor class might be higher. Or if it was a Cyclops with one big central eye, that eye attack might be a lower armor class, a lower bonus armor class than what a normal human would or whatever. Or like a beholder, they're full of eyes. We also do soft stacking of advantage and disadvantage, which is basically every instance of advantage adds a +1 to a maximum of +2. So if you have three instances of advantage, you have advantage +2.
Okay.
If you have 3 instances of disadvantage, you have a disadvantage -2. And it caps out
Right, so
it always caps out at 2, regardless of how many you try to stack.
All right. So the first, for example, the first example of advantage would be just straight advantage. Then the second would be +1. Then the third would be +3. As you were
+2.
+2.
Yeah, and
Okay.
each instance of disadvantage subtracts from instances of advantage and so on.
Okay.
We do a variant rule for tool proficiencies, which is the one from Xanathar's Guide, page 78. If you have a tool and you are proficient in it, you automatically get advantage when using that tool.
Okay.
Ignore the encumbrance one because we kind of ignore it too. The quick potions. So a lot of tables use are you're allowed to use a potion as a bonus action. I allow it as a bonus action or an action. As a bonus action, you roll the dice and you get what you get. And as an action, if you choose to use the potion as an action, you get the full benefits of the potion, the maximum effects. So, thus, if you took a potion of healing, it would heal 10 points rather than 2d4 + 2.
But it's taking your whole action to do it.
But it takes your whole action to do it, right? Likewise, if you took a potion of polymorph or a potion that has a duration that is rolled, like polymorph, I think is still the same either way. But if you took a potion that has a duration or an effect that is rolled, and you took it as an action, you would have the full effect of that potion. So, like, let's say it's 1d3, 1d4 hours or whatever, right? You would just have it for 4 hours.
All right. What about something like potions of giant strength and everything? Because I know in the new 2024 rules or whatever the hell 5.5, potions are basically either bonus action or full action.
Yeah, so we're using a kind of a mishmash of 2024 and 2014, but most of our stuff is 2014 based.
Okay.
But so if they allow that as a bonus action or an action, then it'd be the same in that regard. The only difference is that ours allow you to do it as as like if you do it as an action, you gain the full effect of the potion. So in
Okay.
2024, you just get your potion for up to an hour, right?
Okay.
But
Yep.
hello 2014. There we go. Okay, sorry. Moving on. So we do non-raw flanking. So if you're looking at the screen there, do you see your character in the middle there, Shidbam?
No, actually, I don't. I'm not. I need to. I have my character sheet up. I need to get to the.
He's already in the. So you're looking at your token right here. Do you see this area on the map?
No, I don't see the map at all right now. Let me get back. Exit and go to characters. No, I don't want to do that.
Okay, so what you can do if you have a character sheet open is there's a double window up at the top left of your character sheet, and you can pop it out of the browser. But if your browser takes up your whole window, you'll need to not minimize. You could minimize it, but you need to shrink your browser a little bit to have both open if you want. But here, let me show you what I'm looking at here.
All right.
If I'm allowed to, you could let me do what I want to do there, Discord. Okay, so
Ooh, that's a fun sound.
there I'm sharing the screen there.
Yep.
Okay, so on your character sheet, at the very top left of the window, there's a little thing that looks like a little double window. You see that?
I'm not even. Yep. No, actually, I don't, because I'm not in that scene.
Are you in D&D Beyond?
No, I'm in roll 20.
Okay, this is
Are
the
we
only.
supposed to be
This
in
is
D&D Beyond?
no.
Okay.
This is the only character sheet that I have for you, and I'm trying to understand where you're at because that's that whole getting on the right page thing.
Alright, let me turn off. Let me share my. How do I share my screen with you?
So in Discord, you're going to go to where your little camera icon is at the lower left.
Yep.
And then right next to it, there's a arrow type of thing.
Share your screen.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
And then when you share your screen, it's going to ask you which thing you want to share.
Yep. All right. Can you see it?
Okay, you don't want to be in there. You are in the
Okay.
wrong spot.
Okay, that explains a lot.
Yes. You should
All
go hit the back button once. Okay. And you should see where it says Shidbound the Delirious there, and it says auditions.
Yep.
If you can, click on auditions. Nope. Yep, mouse over auditions, and yeah, click on that. There you go. And then now where it says launch game, that's where you want to be.
Okay.
Not quite launch time yet, though.
It's way past launch time for me. Okay.
Unsupported system or browser or hardware.
Yeah, it's probably whatever browser you're using is kind of having issues. But just you should be able to just ignore that and get rid of the tutorial.
All right.
You could do the tutorial at another time if you would like, but
All right. Yep. I think I got rid. Oh, what's new? Get rid of what's new. Okay.
I don't know what's new with you.
Okay.
okay. So
Why
now
can't I?
now if you zoom in on that, there you go. Yep, you can
Okay.
zoom in, and yep, and you'll need to learn the controls in there for this.
Okay. There I am. Okay.
So you see right here where I'm pinging on the screen?
Yep.
Okay, that's your character there, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Shabam.
So if I move Shidbam over here, right, and I have this guy Gar and this guy Baron Merriweather, and technically by hold on, technically by are you? Oh yeah, you're Tiny Fae. Okay, that's right. Okay, so um by rules as written, uh, this character is flanking here. So the other house rule we have is like expanded flanking. So we have this square and that square would also be flanking. You get what I'm saying?
Okay. So it's
So do you know what the word flank is? Like you know what the concept of a flank is,
Yes.
right? It's basically to the side. So and a lot of times it's to the rear side, but the point is so this is flanking by Raw. Our house rule is that this is flanking, and that square is also flanking. So essentially, if this guy is your enemy, and these two are both your allies, then Shidvam would be flanking at that point.
okay. Yes.
Get what I'm
because
saying?
This game,
Right. The rule
in this
that
game,
I'm used to is essentially 180 degrees.
Right. That's
Okay.
the raw rule.
Okay.
In this case, the rule is also this.
Okay.
That
So
one
it doesn't
and-
have to be.
and that one.
and flanking
Okay.
means, as far as what you get to your attack in this group.
Yeah,
means-
flanking is essentially you're adding a option of advantage. So flanking is allowed. We call it it's just called non-raw flanking is what I put in the house rules. Is normally when an ally is opposite you and within 5 feet of the enemy, you gain advantage by flanking. In this case, the adjacent squares to that ally are also considered flanking.
Okay.
Hooray!
So I have
And is
action
that-
options in the house rules, and those are the standard action options from Dungeon Master's Guide, page 271. You can climb onto a bigger creature, you can disarm, you can mark a creature, you can overrun a creature, you can shove aside a creature, and you can tumble through a creature's vicinity, square or whatever. The thing is I've been playing for I don't know how long, and the number of people who use that climb onto a bigger creature, disarm, and all that stuff, the action options, has been very, very, very small. So, I feel like that needs to be reiterated that you can use those. But I've seen people climb onto a bigger creature. I've seen people disarm people. Once in a while they will overrun. Once in a while they will shove aside. Beyond that, they don't use those. But like, I think I've seen somebody climb onto a bigger creature like all of 3 times since 2019, and I have played a lot of D&D since 2019.
I know people tend to get upset when I climb on them and mark them.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I was about to say
They're
something about that. It
they're-
almost sounds like a dog or a cat marking its territory.
they're generally your enemy, so they're already upset. But yeah, so house rule number 7
Not
is
complicit.
inspiration. Inspiration. So I've changed this a bit. For inspiration, you'll get an inspiration at the start of every session. Just assume that if you start a session, you have an inspiration. Unless for some reason I say otherwise, which is probably not going to happen. I can't think of any instance where that would necessarily happen, but for the instances I can't think of, I'm saying it now. But beyond that, you as a player can award people inspiration. So you can award other players inspiration based on role playing.
You get an inspiration, and you get an inspiration.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
However, yes, the important part. Here's the caveat. And okay, and so we were normally all inspirations were previously you could only have one inspiration at a time. I have been toying with the idea that you're allowed to stack two. So that way you can have two inspirations. If you run out of one and you for some reason have another one, then you can use a second one, right? But it's important that when you reward that inspiration, it's not like, oh, this guy's going to need an inspiration for this role. You can't do it then. But you can reward it for role playing or whatever after the fact, you know. The important part to know is that you can reward as many inspiration to another player as you would like to. However, you only get one to award for free. After you award that one for free, if you reward another inspiration to somebody, the DM gets an inspiration. And the DM's inspirations stack infinitely.
Oh, you are evil.
Mm-hmm.
So don't reward any more than one inspiration, because I can stack inspiration.
Ever.
Don't go to the
Ever.
candy bowl too often.
Yeah.
Just one.
Now that is also still based on per session, so so you if you are into the next session, you're safe a little bit, like just don't reward more than one the next session and the next session and so on. Because otherwise, then I get stackable inspiration that I can use for my monsters.
Yep.
Okay, so that's basically it for the house rules. Any
And
questions?
play nice and don't fight. And
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That should all be covered in the other thing too. But
yeah.
All right. Any questions about house rules, Michael?
Not at this point.
I would say
Um,
that Brandon and Rich and Tina have all been playing with me for at least a couple of years. So
Mm.
I think Tina is the newest out of that group as far as that goes. And now I think about it, I think that Tina, you've only been playing for a year now, right?
It's been a bit over a year, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been playing D&D longer, but just
Yeah,
with Brian
I
here,
guess
yeah.
with me, yeah.
In
Wait.
general, it all sorts itself out pretty easily.
Your
actually.
family,
It's
I
not
don't I don't play with you. That's Brandon's job. Jeez.
He's family too, though.
Yeah, I know.
But I do like it the way he plays with me better. So.
See, that's what I mean.
This is on stream, you guys. Be serious. Anyway,
I'm sorry.
That's right. But it
You can
sorts
tell-
out pretty well. I
they
mean, it's not as complicated as it sounds.
that's true. Yeah, it'll be easier in practice. Like once you get going, like to realize what's what. But
Mm-hmm.
all right. So, for the purposes of the audition, you guys are going to all know each other. Okay.
Right.
Tell us about your character there a little bit, Tina.
Oh gosh. Hold on, let me get off all these millions of pages so I can look at the camera. I am playing a character named Brua. He is a ranger. More specifically, he's going to be a Hollow Ranger, which is kind of like this new thing that D&D came out with. What, this year was it?
Probably, yeah. This is the 2024 one or UA.
Yeah. So yeah. So I don't know too much about the class yet, but it looks kind of cool. When they do cast their Hunter's Mark, they actually transform into something different, something more monstrous. So, just to get lightly into the backstory, he is of a celestial race. He was the guardian of a goddess, and she ran off and got herself into trouble. So he went to her husband and said, "Oh my God, she ran away," and he decides, well, I don't really have the heart to punish my wife, but I know you two are close, so I'm gonna fuck you over, hoping that she'll realize it and come on back. So he's out there looking for his lady, because he just wants to grab her and go home and go back to the whole status quo. So
How do you
yeah,
spell that,
it's
Tina?
RUA.
Oh, that's easy.
Yes, I are.
Yes, you are. Yeah, he's like a big, scary looking guy. He's kind of quiet all the time, but once he gets to know you, he'll start chatting a bit.
We'll put the map on here too. I didn't have the map on yesterday's audition, and somebody noted it, and I thought, well, okay, I'll do a map. I figured, okay, so the reason I've been debating on the map at all, anyways, is just because the idea that since this will be a more roleplay heavy campaign than the other campaigns, that a lot of it will be theater of the mind, or hopefully will be. And there will be times when people will want like visual clarification, I'm sure, but at the same time, I think we'd be okay.
I think maps can give a little bit of inspiration. Like if I'm looking at the map you're on now, I might be like, yeah, I might see, oh, there's a barrel sitting over there, and I go dance on top of that barrel. So I don't think what the map is as important as there's just something for people to play off. But maybe some people aren't going to think that way.
Right. As in, there's a map.
Roll out the barrel.
Yeah, like they might. This looks like a tavern to me.
It is indeed.
People might not realize
tavern.
there's a stage, or oh look, there's some stairs going. I'm going to jump off the stairs.
Why?
Why? Because some characters are like that.
King shame me. Anyway, okay. So yeah, so there's that. Basically a map of the tavern, which is like kind of gonna be a little bit where we're at, anyways. We'll try to adjust from there. All right.
I need to step away for 1 second.
All right, Brandon. While Michael's stepping away, why don't you tell us about Anatoly? Cannoli.
Oh, okay. It's Kozlov.
Oh, Kozlov, yeah.
Yes, Anatoly Kozlov.
Oh my.
He is a Dhampir. A bit of noble birth. From now, I out of character, I have to admit, I don't know much about the area that the background comes from.
What's the background?
It's Dhampir of Morgau.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's
I don't know much about Morgau.
Yeah, so that's a Kobold Press thing. So it would be you pick the similar area of the Forgotten Realms and or whatever and add it in there, that kind of thing.
Okay, we'll look into where some Dhampiri like location that he would be from, and we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Barovia.
He suffers. Anatoly suffers from the.
I feel like I've got a. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, but I feel like I've got a already built-in background area for him, right? So.
Okay.
He was formerly an Urdrathi horseman, the nobility of the Urdrathi horse people, and he's been in Osbraven for, whatever, because Osbraven, just the name of Osbraven sounds kind of like almost like a Russian name.
It's fun to say.
Osbraven, yes.
Oh, good, yeah.
He suffers from the unique distinction of being a Dhampir who is neither emo nor edgelord.
Oh, Rich. Not that kind of edgelord.
He just likes to ride horses.
He does, yeah. Actually, that did come with the background. Is like a riding horse.
So You're Drathian horse people. Yes.
Yeah. So that fits right in there. He's he's actually he's very conscious that like the noble family that he was born into and the bloodline that he was, I don't want to say like he's from a cultivated Dampier bloodline, but while most of those tend to go toward like they tend to go more towards an evil bent, his patron, the vampire that cultivated his bloodline, is not like that. Is one of those rare patrons that like is focused on his family, not for power but for like bloodline, like for like cultivating a bloodline of honorable people. And so he's very conscious or conscientious of like how his station affects the people that are like below him in the like in class wise
in the feeding chain
and yeah
in the food chain.
Yeah, and like in what ways they should be helped, and so he doesn't tend to try and show off his like noble station. He tends to conceal that kind of thing unless necessary, you know.
All right.
And he is like acutely aware and concerned about his thirst being a problem.
All right.
Did you want to share your, what your class is? As far
Oh
as...
yeah, I'm sorry. Anatoly is a shadow magic sorcerer, and I
thought perhaps sorcerer because you did say patron.
Yeah,
well, that'd be warlock.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, no. That's his bloodline, as in the vampire patron wise.
Right. But since you said yeah, but since you said
I did
patron,
say patron.
yeah, since you said
patron,
patron, then yeah, it could be easily confused. Yeah.
And well, and he's Anatoly and is of those people. So no, sorry, that joke doesn't work. So never mind.
Try it anyway.
Well, no, because Patron is Spanish, and that doesn't fit with the accent. There's something else I was going to mention. Oh yeah, I do intend on dual classing into fighter as well. But I still have my character as first level because I thought that's where we're starting. Am I incorrect? Because I know Tina said something earlier about
You can level it up
being
to 3 if
level
you'd
3.
like. Yes, you can level it up to 3 if you'd like.
Okay.
And Michael, I don't know if you already leveled yours up to 3 or what, but you're allowed to level yours up to 3 as well.
All right, no, mine is still at level 1. I'll have to figure out how to level up.
Rich, I can help you do that real quick if you want, then Michael. But Rich, why don't you tell us about your character?
Okay, my character is a Herringon. Oh. You ready?
1 second, sorry. Michael, so here, let me do this. Okay, so now, Michael, next to your name of the character, where it says Ancient Dragons Warlock, you'll see a glowing, flashing anvil.
Yep.
And you should be able to click on that and start the character mancer. And then,
okay.
Bitch, go ahead.
Okay. Yep, I am playing Sir Tulip from Farwarren. He's from the Feywilds. I am a Herringon, and I'm a paladin. And what I am here to do is Nope, not Russian. That's somebody else. Uh, and set forth by the king, King Iron Tingle, who of the Fey realm, to kind of secure positive relations and scout for potential expansion and colonization. I've earned the right as to do this as been kind of an emissary slash adventurer into the Faerun realm because I of the distinguished myself in fighting off many of the vile mites. I don't like mites, but other than that, I am kind of I'm planning on when it becomes third level, which I guess I'm going to level up into, being a paladin of redemption. So I tend to want to subdue rather than kill. I'm not stupid. I don't go and say, I will kill if I have to, and more like, well, I gave you a chance, type of thing. So, but I would rather do that. My idea is everyone has an opportunity for redemption. In fact, I've named my broadsword, my longsword, redemption. So I will use it to help with the flat of
To
its
help
blade
redeem
more,
people.
do redemption on whatever evildoers I see. But again, I'm not so bent that everything I see that looks evil I go and attack. I'm more of a just do what needs to be done. Very much a practical knight. I look forward to uh, defending the weak, and I am perfectly fine with tactical retreats. As a Heron, not every fight has to be done to the end. Not every evil thing has to be killed. Most things can be reasoned with. At least that's my philosophy. Reasoned with it, and perhaps put into line with a couple good swacks of the flat of the blade, and made to mend their evil ways. So that's what I'm about. And obviously, I know you guys because I'm looking to do that type of thing with what I think at least are like-minded people. I'm not the best judge of character though. So anyway, that's what brings me here.
All right. So why do tell us about your character, Michael, and then when you're done telling us about your character, tell us why you would kind of either seek out other companions in this area, or, like as far as like just to do whatever it is you're planning on doing.
All right. My character is a third level warlock fairy. Um, a draconic subclass, whose benefactor is an ancient moonstone dragon named God, I can't even read right now. Lumidae the Adorable.
Aww.
A moonstone dragon. So fairly
Yes.
rare dragon is what you're saying.
Yes. And it became Lumidae became the benefactor of Shivam. Now, Shivam, the name is spelled SHID. Missing the T. There should be a T in there, VOM.
Okay.
Um, however, the D and the T are silent. So there's always this little running gag and everything like that where Shivam is being referred to as Shitvam. And it's a silent D and T
Gotcha.
that he's always trying to correct people on.
There you go. Fix it on the token. You'll have to fix it on the sheet.
Thank you.
I can actually fix it on the sheet too, but
And it was actually by total accident that Shivam gained Luvide's
favor.
favor when Shivam was much younger. came across a hatch of eggs that was about to be uh, overtaken and destroyed. Shivam saved the hatch from being destroyed, and that gained the favor of Luvade.
All right.
As it turned out, it was um, Luvade's hatch that was going to be destroyed.
All right. So what what do you think would have brought you here um, as far as like why would you come to a more civilized area as a Fae?
Adventure.
All right. So you're restless and touching hands with a dragon, so to speak, is made you curious for more, huh?
Yes.
That adrenaline spike caused you to want to get out there in the world and see more adventure.
Yes, exactly.
All right. So what about Anatoly there, Brandon? Why was Anatoly? What keeps him from staying close to the sire or Cyrus, so to speak?
Uh, Anatoly has reached a point where he has to find out who he is as his, as a person apart from his family, where his bloodline is very important to him, but he needs to establish like who he is and what he is to the world.
All right, and
he feels it's not something that he's going to discover, from the confines of a castle.
all right, and the Heron. So Rich, well, just for anybody watching, if they're not familiar with what a Heron is,
It's a rabbit folk.
rabbit folk. Good,
Yeah,
good,
so-
good description. Yeah, so a
There-
Heron is basically
it's
a
bipedal
humanoid,
rabbit.
humanoid bipedal rabbit. It's a Usagi Yojimbo, but in this case, Usagi is
Taller.
a fighter, right? Taller, bigger,
Paladin,
and a paladin. Okay.
I'm
And-
bigger than a
But,
paladin.
not Yosagi, but less katana, more longsword.
Yeah. And then so what brings him from the Feywild to seek adventure in a
So
civilized
he's brought
area?
there, but he's sent by King Iron Tingle to sort of be a general scout / emissary. Make make people aware that their good things come from the Feywild and not just weird stuff. And and also possibly look for areas for colonization. Iron Tingle wants to form a bond and possibly have some outposts in Faerun that are outside of the Feywild.
and
So,
King
Kind of
Iron
a
Tingle
ambassador-y type of thing, yeah.
and King Iron Tingle has passed on to you the sash of station, which is a scarf that has been passed down for many generations in the Feywild. And this scarf is a mantle of power and signifies that you are indeed the emissary of King Iron Tingle.
Cool. I'll have to put that on.
That scarf, yeah, that's a scarf. And
Is it a scarf or a sash?
you decide. It's a scarf, but you can wear it like a sash. You can wear it however. It's a big long scarf. I believe it's blue, but I can't remember for sure. But if you go back and watch some of the Wilder Beyond the Witchlight stuff, it's in there.
Okay. I'll watch it.
And all the people of the Feywild realize the importance of this scarf, or sash, or mantle of station, depending on how you look at it.
Cool.
In the right hands, it's a sling. So who knows? It's a bedroll. It's a scarf. It's a mantle. It's a whatever it is. It's a piece of cloth that's relatively 4 feet long, or so.
Not a loincloth?
About 6-8 inches wide or more. All right, and Tina, what brings you out of the woods, so to speak?
Oh my gosh. Well, I am looking for someone, and I have, bits and pieces of breadcrumb trails, and perhaps she has been through this way. But I am obviously behind and way too late. So he is looking for his mistress. Plain and
He.
simple.
So Rua is a he. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a pretty boy. Okay. All right. All right. All right. So and here, let me see. I'm going to change your character token there, Brandon. Uh, or you can, but
Oh no, go ahead.
where did he go? Which way
I'm
did he go?
asking Gavin to make me
There
a
he is.
character
He's
token
over by
because
Ari.
he's so good with
Yeah, you can have
Hero
Gavin.
Forge.
You can have Gavin make it.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. He's a token master.
Exactly. So I reached out. We'll see what he says. I'm hoping he'll say yes.
Okay, well I'll wait. But okay, so for now this will be Anatoly.
Yeah.
There we go. Anatoly Kozlov.
There we go, Lee. Anatoly.
And Shidvam, you are gonna be right here. You guys you guys find yourself in search of an adventure. You guys had heard that there was a princess, daughter of somebody, or some girl in trouble, some common folk person possibly. But you heard that there's this person in trouble, and you heard that there was tales of possibly some goblins that may have taken her, and you've come to this area thinking, hey, you're on the road traveling anyways, and this might be a good way to make some coin, And as you come up to the town where this has supposedly happened, you notice that there is a lake off to the south of there. As you're coming in from the southwest, you're heading up to the northeast, and there's a small town, like a not much more than a thorp, or maybe almost the size of a hamlet, like maybe 10, 12 buildings, and not much more than that. But of those buildings, tucked in the northeast corner of the small colony, stands a long, low building of fieldstone and blackened timber. A burnt wooden sign hangs over the entrance, depicting a mug engulfed in flames. A blue glow and a raucous laughter emanate from inside. A stern-faced, muscular half-orc stands guard by the entrance. He seems to be peering down at what appears to be a book of sorts, a rather thick book. Not something you normally see in a half-orc just standing there studying a book intently. He's certainly an imposing figure, and he certainly looks capable of being a bouncer or a guard for this establishment. But the idea that he's intent on reading this thick book kind of catches your attention and makes you take pause. It's getting late. It's toward nighttime, and you're all getting thirsty and hungry, and you know that this is a tavern, and you know that there are good smells wafting from within.
You know it's a tavern. Yeah, I'm getting pretty hungry, so I will step in the tavern.
Are we together yet, or are we going to?
Yeah, you're all together. Yep, you're all together. You know each other, and you're all together, traveling together. You decided to travel together.
Sure. Well, let's go. Perhaps hope they've got clover.
Where
in a long time since
where
I've had
did
some good clover.
Okay, Anatoly disappeared.
Do I moved it over to where my token was before.
I don't know where you're. Oh, yes. Okay, so back outside the bar. Yep. Okay. Because you're not in the bar yet.
I just moved it to where I could see it.
You can't see it there?
I couldn't. No, down there, it's like blacked out.
Probably because you don't have vision yet.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying I lack vision?
Yes, you lack vision. Do you know what your night vision is? It's 60, correct?
It might be my dark vision might be 120. Let me check
Mine's
that.
60.
Does Sir Tulip, the Haragon, have dark vision? They don't, right?
No.
It might not matter, but
That's,
you should see some light coming out from out there anyway. But hang on, Rua, where you at,
real
Rua?
back.
There you are.
Discard and exit.
But we're gonna truncate your nameplate though, Rich.
Yeah, just put Tulip.
Yeah.
You know, that'll work.
Well, I got Sir Tulip, but anyway. So,
That's cool.
all right. So, you guys are outside the bar here, and you walk up. You guys are headed up to the orc. Can you guys all see your tokens?
Yeah.
Can you guys all have vision, I believe. There you go. You can see, you should be able to see light coming from the bar. You see the half-orc bouncer staring at it intently at his thing. You're just gonna walk in.
Yeah, I can't see myself really that much. I'm in.
I
I'm shrouded in
might.
darkness.
Yep, you might not have vision either. Yep. Okay, I forgot to give you vision. Okay.
It is so dark. I cannot see myself.
do
I
you-
only see that rabbit bathed in light there.
Do you have dark vision, Tina?
Yeah,
Your
60
character?
feet.
Uh,
Yep, 60.
Brandon, did you figure out your dark vision yet?
Yeah, it's I put it in the chat.
120 for Brandon.
Oh, hang on. Wrong thing. 120. There you go. So you can see it better than anybody. Okay. Anybody outside
I have
here?
all
anyway.
the eyes.
Yes, yes. Are you guys? So you're just gonna go in? Shidvam, the door is very heavy. You cannot. You're pushing on it, and it seems to not want to open. What's your strength?
Oh God, I believe it's a 9.
So it'd be 9 times 30 divided by 2. Divided by 2.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay, so with a little effort, you push on it, and it finally goes open. You can see out of the corner of your eye. You think you see the half orc kind of smirk. And everybody else kind of files
Need some
in.
help with that?
Everybody else kind of files in after you. You see, as you're walking in, and or flying in, you do fly, correct, Shidbum?
yes.
You are a flying fairy. Okay. There is the half orc does say, hey, there's a 0 tolerance on spells and weapons. Don't be fighting there, or else I'm gonna have to come in there. And he says,
And Siobhan,
if you do get in a fight, at least keep to your fists.
Siobhan says, I don't have any weapons. All I have are my knitting needles.
He says,
How
you'll
tall is
notice-
Siobhan?
one of the things you'll notice about Siobhan is that on the back, much where a archer would have his arrows, Siobhan just carries what appears to be 2 human knitting needles.
how big is Shidbam is what he was asking? Do you,
Siobhan is only like a foot and a half tops.
How much
They-
does Shabam look like they weigh?
How much does he look like he weighs? Maybe about 20 pounds or something like that, or less.
I was gonna say he
Okay, so I
probably
just
looks to you like he weighs no more than 10 pounds, I would think, and probably weighs maybe less than that, depending.
I was just thinking about if we're ever in a position where you need a lift, I'd be willing to help you with that. Obviously, you don't need it now and you can fly, but if it should ever happen.
Right. All right. Thank you. Yeah. one of the things I was thinking, as far as when myself and Piper were putting together characters and stuff like that, and Gavin was drawing up, is, do you remember the book series called The Borrowers?
Yep.
Okay, something like that when it comes to makeshift weapons.
Yeah.
So obviously, a fairy carrying a normal sized spear just would not work.
Right.
Yeah, I would say that since a normal cat, like an average cat is right around 7-8 pounds to 11 pounds, somewhere in there, like house cat, and since they're usually closer to the 2 feet long, a foot and a half, 2 feet long, I would say that you probably don't weigh as a fae, you probably don't weigh more than probably 7 or 8 pounds. And realistically, since fae, canonically and lore wise, generally tend to have hollow bones like birds. The honeycomb structure inside the bone, then you'd probably weigh like literally like 2-3 pounds.
Okay, that works.
Yeah, and especially having a 9 strength. If you had a higher strength, then I could see also weighing a little bit more. But yeah, so you get to pick the weight, but I mean, like, unless you're particularly portly or whatever, then I would imagine that you're 3 to 5 pounds, tops.
No, that completely works and makes a whole lot of sense.
You can push, pull, drag, whatever, up to 67.5 pounds.
Okay.
But that takes a great deal of effort, and you can only move it about 5 feet in a round.
Okay.
All right, Rua.
Yes.
When you go in, you do hear the bar the bouncer say like about the weapons. He says, but then after he says that he says yeah, there's been a couple accidents lately, and we don't want any unwanted attention, preferably.
And then he kind of just
That's why
leans
it's
at
called-
this guy. He's like, "Did these incidents involve a small woman?"
He says, no. He kind of like looks at you funny, like what?
I'm looking for someone. And he kind of gets out in his pocket and he holds up this sketch of this woman that he's looking for. She looks like she's probably slight. She's got long black hair. Probably, like, to describe her to someone is just like, oh, she's just any dark-haired lady. But he's trying to give, like, this is what she looks like. Have you seen her?
You're like, no,
He does this with everybody. Don't worry about it.
sorry,
It's
sir.
his thing.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
And you guys can either take yourselves and put yourselves in the bar somewhere, or I can put you in there. But at any rate, when you walk into the bar, you see that the tavern is packed, basically full capacity. Loud, drunken harbor workers, mercenaries, soldiers, sailors. They all take spots at the bar or at the wooden tables scattered about the stretched flagstone floor. There are a couple alcoves carved into the west wall that have like a couple booths. And the booths have weathered purple curtains for visual privacy, though they do little to block out noise. Many eyes are turned toward the center of the room, where a large water tank is glowing with a blue light, and there's a female merfolk gracefully ribbon dancing in the illuminated water. There are different
Is
colors.
that the person you're looking for?
There are different colors of light that are emanating from drift globes from near the ceiling and in the water itself.
She's river dancing.
River dancing.
Something like that. The ceiling is covered in a vast painting depicting a small fishing village racked by a terrible storm and strange alien creatures rising from the water.
Are those what you're? Is that what they look?
On the
I'm trying to help.
on the bar is a rather animated-looking small gnome, running back and forth, chatting up the the patrons and you know, helping to serve drinks here and there. There's a big sign behind the bar on the east wall that says, "Ask about our fiery grog challenge." And wanted monster exterminators. Aside from the gnome that's you know, chatting up customers, you also see over near the tank a rather scholarly looking elven woman, kind of wiry, and she is playing some sort of arm wrestling game where patrons arm wrestle her mage hand. And most of them
Almost
seem
spit my coffee
and
out.
most of them seem to be losing. And there are all kinds of people onlooking and watching that as well.
That's pretty sad.
Where there's a heavily tattooed buff dwarf trying to take on the elves' mage hand.
Don't they have like a lifting capacity of like 5 pounds? That's pretty bad.
Wow.
Well, you would think that would be normally the case, yes. But somehow she's beating you know, people with this mage hand, so that must not be the case in this case, unless she's doing something to weaken her opponents beforehand.
Yeah, Ro would have no idea. His magic is ranger magic, so I'm
just gonna go up to the bar and ask for some dandelion wine. Anybody else want to join me for some dandelion wine?
I don't drink wine.
Where's Tulip? Yeah, Rua will just quietly walk over.
But I will join you.
Oh.
Okay. A rather large Goliath in an apron. Looks at you kind of funny and says, "We don't get this ordered much." And he puts down a bottle that looks like it's got you know, a good 5 years of dust at least on it. And
that's the good stuff.
and then a small, nice, clean copper cup.
Thank you. This is a fine establishment. If you have aged dandelion wine like that, I will give you a positive review for it. How much?
He's like, he kind of shrugs and turns back to stirring a big pot of something, and the gnome quickly intervenes and says, "Oh, that's just 5 gold for the bottle."
For the whole bottle.
He says, "Yes."
So I will. Yeah, that sounds fine. And so
Rua's like,
I'll
but it's
take
been
that off.
sitting there for 5 years.
That's the good stuff. It has to
Scratching his
age.
head like, why? If it's that trashy, why in the heck would you want that much money? He just doesn't get it. Like, money,
But would
value
you
of
like
money.
Would you like to try a little? Just have a sip out of the little copper cup.
Okay. Sure.
Oh.
Very, very
You
like.
sound nervous. Are you sure?
Is this gonna kill me? He just kind of
Oh,
slides
so
his cup
what does it
over.
taste like, Brian?
It tastes like dandelions. No. Yeah, it does taste like a little bit like dandelions. A little bit tangy, a little bit earthy.
Like,
And it got a hint of lemongrass, surprisingly.
Ooh, I like this foreign stuff. I like how
So,
they do with it here.
Yeah, Rua takes a sip and he goes, "Oh, yeah, that's good." His face does not say it's good, but
I
his
will.
mouth is
I
saying
will.
it's
Say,
good.
I will say that if Shidvam tries it at all, I will say both you and Shidvam both agree that it is not as good as the stuff they serve in the Feywild.
No, and
Yeah.
Siobhan was about to try some also.
Hey, well, give it a try. Yeah, try to be charitable. We're visiting different places. Don't be too hard to it.
He
But,
and you say
they're-
the gnome says, I always have help for me little friends too, and he pulls out a couple thimbles, out of a belt pouch and sets them down onto the table, so you can use essentially they're big thimbles, but they're little they're face-sized cups. Well, very face-sized cups.
So, is he just setting it up? If if he's setting it up for other people to sample, he'll pour the little bits of the bottle that he just bought into them.
Yeah. I'm lost for a moment. Looking for something in my inventory here. Oh, okay. Sorry. Took me a second there.
Okay.
Hang on. I think somebody's at my door.
Uh-oh.
Who's that at my door?
Ah, 1 second. I left you guys. I wanted to go to the
boy.
BRB screen, but I left you guys all like hanging there. All right.
Yeah,
Hey, we were
That's okay.
chatting.
We were entertaining.
You good? Yeah. Well, they couldn't hear you because I turned the volume off because I was going to the BRB
Oh.
screen. But so you guys all looked at. As long as you all looked animated, I'm sure everybody was loving it. No, anyway.
I spiked
Anyway.
my hair and everything.
All right. So, yes. Meanwhile, back at the bar. Back at the tavern. Okay. I will note that you guys do see across the bar in one of the booths you see a rather distraught looking woman and a guy who's nearly as inconsolable, and there's a guy in finery standing beside the table talking to both of them. And the woman seems to be, putting her hand in her, putting her head in her hands every couple minutes, kind of like this or whatever, like that. And every once in a while, you feel like you can vaguely hear the woman weeping.
So does the guy in the finery standing there, does he look like he's harassing them or just giving them news?
It's hard to tell, but over the music and the crowd, the din of the crowd from the near the bar, it's all the way the other end of the bar. It looks as though he's standing there. Maybe he's trying to console them.
Rua, he's not a bad guy. He's just intimidating, So it's just tugging at his heartstrings seeing a woman cry. And so he asked the bartender if perhaps he's like, "Excuse me, would there be something soothing that I could take to my companions, like a tea or something that might help calm the nerves?"
He says, you might try. He says, I don't think she's eaten for like 2 days though. And rested, not? And he says, here's some chamomile tea. And he like runs behind the bar, over to by where the giant Goliath cook is, and comes back with a small cup of, like, you can see the tea is steaming, and he goes, and he says something in a magical language, and you can see the tea steams that much more.
He's like, perhaps maybe a small biscuit or something on the side.
He says, "Oh yes, good thinking. Maybe if you can give her to eat, it would be good." And he says, "One moment," and he runs again. This time he comes back with basically a small, like, chunk of bread. He's like, "It's the best we've got. We're not a fancy bar, sir."
I don't think Preston we could handle anything fancy, anyways. So he'll take the I'm assuming they're gonna put it maybe on a little tray or something like that.
Yeah.
And as he approaches, he's gonna try to catch the eye, or he's gonna try to gauge what the fancy guy is saying. Because he doesn't know if that guy is just delivering bad news, or if he's being pushy, or
Okay, are the rest of the three of you going to stay at the bar, or are you going to kind of migrate over following Rua?
How tall is the ceiling? What's the ceiling height in here? And how
12 feet.
dark is it as far as the lighting goes up towards the ceiling?
It's about 10, 12 feet. It gets a bit darker toward the ceiling, but like I said, the aquarium in the middle is brightly glowing, so it's not too dim, or it's not too dark, is what I'm saying. And there are drift globes up near the ceiling. Basically, if you have a view of what the bar looks like, that it's mostly lit to that degree.
All right, go ahead.
All right, Siobhan is going to fly and hover around the top of the ceiling, just over where the woman is crying, and in that area.
Okay, so down this way somewhere.
Yes.
All right. Rich. What about Sir
as soon as-
Tulip and Anatoly?
Oh, Sir Tulip is going to follow to his lead, and yes, kind of not wanting to crowd a person with everyone going over at once, but kind of be there and kind of couple steps back support.
Okay, so and then Anatoly, what about you, Anatoly? Are you going to stay at the bar, or are you going to kind of head that direction?
And Anatoly would probably. I think I would move like a little bit closer just to be within earshot, but not to be intrusive.
So would
Just
you
because.
would you like kind of occupy one of the tables near there, kind of like
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
move
yeah.
up to like here somewhere and sit at a table or something?
Like maybe
The next booth over. Okay. All
yeah,
right. And
or,
then,
okay, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, let me go to the that would probably be close enough. I think at this table.
okay. Okay. So, all right. You get up there, Rua, and you're taking the tray and the tea and the bread, and as you're walking over, you see the man who looks somewhat inconsolable inside the. I think the man is labeled as wife, and the woman is labeled as Miller. It works. Anyway, so the Miller and his wife are reversed. But anyway, so you go up to the thing, and the guy who looks rather inconsolable is talking to his wife quietly at the moment, and he kind of looks up and sees you walking their way, and he like his eyes transfix on you. At that moment, then the guy in the finery turns towards you and says, "Oh, thank you." And he says, "Is that I assume this is for you, Mrs. Miller?" And yeah, yeah.
And her husband named wife.
And his husband named wife. Yeah, yeah,
Well, don't kink shame.
It's a foreign name you've never heard of. It's Wife.
With
French.
yeah.
They both work at Target.
All right. Gavin says Gavin's in chat, by the way. He says he is down to make all the tokens and minis. He probably said that a while ago before I had to get up and go.
Ooh, go Gavin! Yay!
Or probably when you were talking about it.
So, did I perchance hear anything about what's going on? Like, did they lose somebody, or?
As you're walking over, you heard something. Well, make a perception check.
Well, I don't have any real stats yet, so hold on.
Oh, you don't have any stats yet? You made a character with no stats? How dare
I've been
you?
trying to, but it's giving me a lot of shit. Having to customize everything because this
Roll20 never does that. Don't fib. All right, so
gosh, of course not.
so roll a d20. Let's see.
Hold on. I mean, I have some stats.
Yeah,
so
but
once it loads,
just roll a d20 and let's see where you're at with that first.
Yep.
okay.
Remember, this is a role-play heavy campaign, so it'll be less about what the stats are and more about what more about what the role-play is anyway. But I mean,
It is nice just having something you can click, though. You know what I mean?
yeah. So what I will say is,
Cloning.
at the very least, you heard, I just don't know what we're going to do, and with a 17 and whatever the stat may be, unless it's a negative stat.
Yeah, it's a +2. So
yeah. So with that would be a 19. So you definitely heard on the way over there. You heard. But she's been missing for nearly 2 days.
Okay. So.
Is that a long time? Is that a long time in the Faroon?
I didn't say you heard it. But I figure with those
Oh,
with those with
I
those
got these big
with,
freaking
I figure with
ears,
those huge ears, I figure with those huge ears, you probably overheard everything in the bar.
It's had a
So
long time.
that might
So
that
just
might
like,
that might be too much information all at once.
gosh almighty. So upon hearing that, now he figures he has this opening, or because he's like was trying to figure out what he was gonna say. His original plan was to set it down in front of her, give her a pat on the shoulder, and turn around and walk away. But now that he hears that, and so he'll set the tray down, and he'll kind of crouch down a little bit because he's pretty tall, and he'll say, I've lost someone too. Maybe I can keep an eye out for you. As in your daughter, your son, or whatever. Right? Well, she said she, so maybe I can keep an eye out for your lost one too. What does she look like?
She says, the mayor says, "You see, I told you someone would come along straight away," and the guy in the finery says this, and he says, she says, well, she's small. Her name is Claire. She's about 8 years old, and she's the rumor is that the goblins took her.
He just kind of like goblins. And then sorry, my leg itches and it's distracting me because it just feels so good.
Now it's distracting everyone.
I just
Okay.
opened my leg there. Oh gosh,
Well-
when
well,
you get
say-
that spot and it just feels good. He basically said, hold on, let me talk to my companions. I think we can do something.
And while that's going on, Shivam is up at the ceiling, lying. Picture Shivam lying on a hammock at the top of the ceiling, without the hammock there, just the wings fluttering. He's
Right.
hovering there, and he has out his knitting needles, and he's just knitting away and stuff like that, listening. And all you have is this chain of like yarn starting to like a web strand just gently starting to float down, and people just see this thing hovering down, shimmering.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Give me. You're not trying to be any particularly stealthy, right, Shivam?
No.
Okay.
No, Shivam is just listening and seeing what's going on, so he's really not trying to be stealthy or anything like that. He's just
Okay. As the mayor
listening
is talking to to Rua, he says if you could, we could reward you. There's not much in the town treasury, but we could reward you for going and retrieving their daughter if you can find her. And he says it's not much, but 50 gold would help you on your travels, or pay for several nights at an inn. It's a lot of money.
So
I'm
yeah, Rua looks
Go
down
ahead.
at him and just kind of shrugs. And says, "Let me
certainly-
talk to my companions."
if I did overhear that with my ears, I
Yes.
will certainly be. Yeah. Well, this is certainly what I know. I am the type of thing that I'm trying to do in this realm. So, if it would be goodwill for you amongst the folk, I would gladly undertake this. And Rua, I agree. You should check with the companions and see if they'd like this idea. Adventure.
at the hearing adventure, Shivam swoops down past through and says, "I'm game."
Okay. You see the miller. He visibly starts. He's like, "Oh my goodness!" like that, and you see the mayor nearly draw his weapon, yeah, and he's like, "Wait!" He's like, "Oh," he's like, we folk.
Siobhan, we talked about this.
Oh, okay. Jeez, you take all the fun out of life.
I almost sliced you in half.
He
If you
says,
could hit him.
he says, the mayor says, very well. Says, Miller, I have this, and he kind of like walks over away from the Miller and his wife with you guys, and he says, yes, like 50 gold, and a little magic on your side. He looks at Shabam, and he says, a little magic on your side can't hurt. And he says, it looks like you all have done some tracking before. And he kind of looks at Rua, and he says, but here's the thing. She has been gone for the better part of 2 days, possibly taken by goblins. Some goblins came in, took sheep, and they've been raiding the town here, taking sheep from the nearby fields.
You think they mistook her for a sheep?
And I don't know, but the rumor is that somebody saw her being taken by the goblins, and again, she's been gone for nearly 2 days. If you find her in less than, let's say, healthy condition, just please be discreet and gentle about it.
Very good. As soon as the Miller is done saying that, Siobhan
That was
does
the
a circle
mayor
around-
that says that. Yeah.
The mayor, I apologize. As soon as
mayor
Siobhan-
wife.
No,
The
that's
mayor's
Miller
done-
wife. Miller wife and mayor. Mayor may I.
Who?
May or may not. I don't know.
Mayor John Mayer.
Well, as soon as they're done saying that, Shivam does a quick circle, lands on the shoulder, and says, "And there's nothing wee about me."
I don't know. You give off an odor of sorts.
A wee odor. What are you talking about? There's nothing wee about you. You smell like a privy.
No, that was in response to we can't. His original comment about having wee folk here, or okay.
Yep.
Yes. All right.
All right. So you guys, the mayor does say, he says there might be some stuff at the town provisioner, though at this hour I don't imagine it's well and open. But if you beat on the door hard enough, he will answer and tell him the mayor sent you and why you're there. He says,
Sure,
but
appreciate that.
he says, but I must urge you that time is probably of the essence. Being that she's been gone for 2 days already, I hate to consider her condition should the time be too long. If you understand what my meaning.
Yes.
So,
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go.
Yeah. He's just like,
We know the direction.
he says, oh, sorry, didn't know that was out of character or not. Was that?
Sorry, that was in character.
Okay, that was in character. Okay, so the mayor says, yes, off to the east there, through the woods. If it is goblins, they're likely in the foothills of the mountains somewhere.
Tales of the Mountains. Okay, so would we, as the people who have just come from the outside, have a general idea of which way the mountains are? I mean, we probably can see them.
Well, he said to
Over
the
the
east,
town.
so yes, but yes.
Oh, to the east. Okay, sorry, I missed that. All right.
Yeah. And
To the
you
east.
would know the Sunset Mountains were to the east.
Okay.
Shivam is going to fly outside for a second. Or are there any windows that are open?
Yeah. Several windows are open.
Okay, Shivam is going to fly out one of the windows fly straight up about, say, 120 feet-ish into the air. I'm sure that'll take a few actions anyway. And look around. Shivam has Devil's Sight, so he'll be able to see out at least 120 feet
Okay.
through the darkness, and see if there's any kind of
Oh, does Shavam have
path or.
dark vision of 120 also?
Yes, that's what Devil's Sight is.
Oh, Devil's Sight. Okay.
Yep.
That's the warlock thing. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And see
It's
if he
Devil's
can't pick
Food.
up a trail or anything that might guide us to start the quest.
Your eagle eyes see some really blatant trails leaving what looks like a sheep's paddock, and it kind of is just like heading out into the woods, and you can clearly make out the trail quite a few feet into the woods.
Okay.
Before the trees become too dense to see through and that.
All right. Shivam will fly back down, fly back into the bar, and notify and pass that information on.
Okay.
So where'd you go?
Say again.
So where'd you go?
Oh, I
Just flew
went
out of here.
outside and flew up into the air and took a look around.
That's cool. I have to remember that for later.
Do any of you want to make a history check to see if you remember anything that you've learned as you're coming into this region? Or you guys could, if you wanted to talk to any of the villagers, you guys could make a investigation check to see about any information that you can find about these goblins.
I'm just sitting there, like, listening, observing. So I'll make a history check, because that's basically all I've been doing is paying attention to what they've been saying and what we've been doing.
Well, right, but the history would be like knowledge you've gained before.
Right. You said
On the way
on
in,
the way into the region, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I will also, once I get back into the bar.
Do your wonderful ears give you anything special, Richard?
No, I'm just role playing. There's
A
nothing.
wonderful silhouette.
Then we're gonna say that
Yeah.
that it is a vast crime that they hadn't added this, but I'm going to say that you have advantage on perception checks in regards to things that require sound, audible things.
Thank you.
I like that.
Yeah, it's very, like, specific, very niche and appropriate.
So you may make an investigation check, if you would like, Richard, but one at advantage based on hearing if you're just attempting to hear certain types of conversation.
Okay,
Brandon, you've heard have overheard a little bit here. Brandon disappeared. He's in space. You overheard here a little bit that, like, on the way here, that the goblins first started raiding the village around a month ago. There was first few, like, chickens, few wild animals, like, started, like, coming up butchered, like, nearby town. Then after that, they started getting, like, sheep and pigs and cows, and caught the villagers had eventually caught the goblins in the act and saw them doing this kind of stuff. The goblins always fled, The villagers always thought the goblins were no more than a nuisance until the miller's daughter got kidnapped, really. Um, investigation check, Rich, reveals the goblins that were caught. You heard about the goblins that were caught, and you can hear people talking in the bar about, oh, they're talking to the millers and the mayor about the little girl who is caught and whatever. And you overhear someone saying something about the goblins were caught in the act were described as timid, scarred little things with burn marks all over their faces and bodies.
Ooh.
I when we get back together and pool our information, I provide this information to the group.
Shidvam, you don't gain any new information per se. You get the idea though that on the way in that this village is good for fishing. This village of Green Fork here.
Okay.
Good to know.
Yep.
Nice day for fishing, ain't it?
Although as the winged fairy you are, you once had a bad experience fly fishing, and you're not sure you want to go back again.
I bet you caught a whopper though.
Oh my. That was a big fish.
You weren't sure if it caught you or if you caught it, but it was not a good experience.
Okay, and along those lines, I'm guessing I did. If you want to make a check, you just double click the attribute on your character sheet.
You just click
You-
it.
you
You
can
just
double
click.
click.
You
You
just
can
click it
single
once. Yeah, you just click it once. You know
Okay.
if you notice, you made actually two checks there.
Yep.
But yeah, you just click it once. If you want to make two of them, like so, it's like you're doing advantage, you can click it twice. Or if you look at the top of the page, under like the name and information, there's an advantage disadvantage thing. There should be, and if not, let me double check.
Yep.
And,
Okay. Yep. I
there is
see
for you.
that.
Okay, yeah. Because if there wasn't, then it's just something I need to adjust on the sheet. Yeah, there is. So yeah,
Alright.
advantage, normal, and disadvantage. Normally, you're going to be on normal. If you get it stuck on advantage, don't worry about it. Roll 20 always puts the first roll first.
All right.
So, like I have some players who never go off or advantage or disadvantage, depending on what the thing is.
All right.
I'm talking to you, John. Talking to you.
Well, I just thought he was that good.
Never know when you're going to want to be on advantage.
He just always thinks he's on advantage. That's the deal. So you guys head out? Yes?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So you and your party spend a few hours when you leave Green Fork trekking through the woods. You weave your way through vast trees and grasping undergrowth. The forest is an ancient and wild place. The canopy overhead blocks out most of the moonlight, while the brooding calls of far-off birds are the only sounds that drift through the woodland. You've been following this trail left by the goblins. Sir Tulip, I'm assuming you probably have to have a torch. So, are you going to kind of hang out in the back?
Yes,
Okay.
I'll hang out in the back.
Okay.
I mean, I certainly can, I don't mind taking the front, being a paladin, but I'm also a practical paladin, so I don't want to cause problems by being there. So.
Well, and what I find, I was gonna say what I find a lot of times in D&D parties too, that a lot of times the beefy guy will go in the front, and realistically, as far as tactics go, you have just as much problem or maybe more if somebody attacks you from behind.
Yep, that's absolutely true. But there's a mentality,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I will go in the front.
Well,
blah, blah,
let's
blah,
let the
blah.
meat
So-
shield go first. Yeah, that's
Right, exactly.
Following this trail is super easy. The goblins are anything but subtle. This passing is marked by broken branches, trampled undergrowth, even the odd butchered animal. Anatoly, if you were tracking by scent alone, you would probably be fine because the blood trail and the smell of nasty goblin is thick on the air to you. I don't know if Dampier have keen senses or not, but I imagine they can smell blood really well.
Yes.
Probably smell blood, yeah.
Mixed with body sweat and body sweat, body odor and sweat. Yes.
The mayor kind of said one last thing as you left and kind of gave you the idea that the mission is fairly straightforward. Find and kill the goblins that kidnapped the miller's daughter, and if she's alive, return her safely. But finally, you push your way through the unwelcoming thicket, and you see that the trees begin to thin, and you spot a cliff face up ahead jutting out from the forest and the sky. We're going to move you over to
Can
here.
I interrupt for 1 second for just a question about mechanics?
Absolutely.
As far as Shavam's flying goes, the flapping of the wings and stuff like that, how stealthy is that, or how loud are the flapping of the wings?
Well, I'm going to say that okay, so it depends on your character. Do you have butterfly wings? Because last I knew, I thought you had butterfly wings. But do you have butterfly wings, dragonfly wings, bee wings? Like what kind of wings do you have?
They were more like the dragonfly wings.
Okay. So dragonfly wings. Okay, so it's pretty stealthy. If you've ever heard of dragonfly, you don't hear them till they get pretty close.
Okay.
There is a high-pitched buzz when they get close. It's kind of almost like a small helicopter.
All right. And not to push the point, but define what you mean by close. Are you talking within 15 feet, 5 feet?
5.
5 feet. Okay.
Yep, 5.
That shouldn't be. Okay.
If you're really paying attention, somebody could make a perception check and whatever, but you can also make stealth checks, and if you want to be stealthy.
Okay.
What we will do is we'll throw Anatoly there. We'll throw where did Rua go?
Somewhere I can't get my own.
Rua there.
It all froze.
Yeah, see, it didn't work. Hang on, I have to copy and paste from the other thing again, like I did before. Okay, sorry about that. Let me go over here.
How high up is the forest canopy? The path that we're traveling down.
1 second.
Yep.
The forest canopy is, 20, 30 feet up, depending.
All right.
But as it breaks into the clearing, it would be far less. But okay, here we go. Paste. Ta-da!
Do I have vision?
You
Because I
guys are all
cannot see
giant.
anything. Oh wait.
Yeah, because
There
it's because you haven't been put on the map yet.
Oh, I had to. Oh, okay, that would be why. Yeah, I everything froze on me, so I thought, well, maybe that was it. So I had to reload.
Hang on, for
know,
some
I'm
reason.
just looking at a black
Great,
screen.
rule 20
Yep,
is.
you all should be looking at a black screen, so that should be
All right.
that is not a new thing. 1 second.
Even after we're on the map, we still may be looking at a black screen if the
There you
roll
go.
20 is doing its thing.
Now, if you
okay.
zoom out and zoom back in, you can kind of see what's what. And actually, here we'll move you guys to about there. I think.
Speaking of mechanics, I had put a question in the chat in the Roll20 there.
If you put questions in the chat, I don't see them. You need to ask them.
Okay.
Where is it?
It's right below where I had made the roll.
Wrist
for,
blades?
Yeah.
Would wrist blades be considered a single melee weapon or a dual weapon? Okay, so I'm not sure I understand the question. Each wrist blade would be its own single melee weapon. You have two wrists. You have two wrists, so wrist blades could be considered a dual weapon if you had one on each hand.
Okay, because it describes it like the name of it is wrist blades plural. So I assumed
That's
I assumed that it was.
that could be that it's because it's you know, you'd have to put the description up probably, or I can find it, but it probably could be that it could be multiple blades.
Yeah,
Wolverine's
there's not
claws.
really-
Wolverine's claws, if they were attached to his body, would be considered wrist blades.
Yeah, it doesn't in
Bognock.
the entry. It's just got
Who's there?
melee weapon simple, damage type, damage type, item
Yeah, that's
rarity.
because you're looking at something from Esper Genesis Core Manual, which is something you're not going to use at all because that is a futuristic space weapon.
Aw, he can't be a space guy.
Well, it was a weapon that was on my list of things that I could choose, and so I just chose that.
Yeah.
I can get rid of it.
Here, let me look at it. We might be able to. We could probably turn it into something. There is a wrist knife, but that's just a knife that goes around your wrist. Hang on one second. Wrist blades. Don't really give much of a description right there. Hold on. Where's the?
Right. I'm not married to it, so I can get rid of it. I can choose something else.
Yeah.
So I'll just go ahead and get rid of that. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. It'd be basically like you have a blade on your wrist, or you have blades on your wrist.
Like they kind of
punching
pop
like-
out of your gauntlets, you know? Like,
like a punching blade.
Yeah.
Type of
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
Not like a shooting.
It could be a stiletto for flavor type thing where it's you know, like a spring blade type of thing, like Assassin's Creed or whatever if you wanted. But regardless, I'm sure the damage isn't more than a D4, but in this
Yeah,
it's
the
probably
reason-
a D6.
The reason I was asking
a
is
D4.
is because I get I took the one level of fighter, and so I get a fighting style. So I didn't know if I was going to go with dueling or two weapon fighting.
Dueling is single blade, yeah, and two weapon fighting is two. So you basically, if you had it on one wrist, you could use dueling, and if you had it on both wrists, you'd use two weapon fighting. So that's how that works. You know, you understand the concept.
Right, which is
you
why
know,
I was
so.
looking for the
So
clarification.
that's just up to you. So
Okay.
At any rate, so you have arrived at what appears to be a cliff face, jutting into the sky. The ground is littered with broken wood and debris, and it all leads straight towards the rocks ahead. The goblins must be nearby.
You guys want to just give them a chance to surrender, you know, so that we don't have to kill them.
that's fine. As long as we achieve our goal.
Yes, say, get the girl back, get out of here, you know, stop stealing the sheep.
Leave the sheep
Okay,
out
so
of
what
this.
are your passive perceptions? Let's start with Shidvam. 12? Is that correct?
I think so. Let me double check.
Rua,
It's
Rua, do you
what is
have
it,
a passive
10
perception
10
yet?
plus proficiency.
It's not popping up, but I can tell you what my perception is. Or
I don't believe it has proficiency added. It'd be 10 plus your wisdom score. I think. Yeah, 10 plus your wisdom score is what it should be. Your passive.
All right, then it's wisdom's 14 plus 2. Okay, so yes,
So
it's
12.
12.
same 12.
Me too.
So you're all 12? Brendan?
For
Passive wisdom? Passive perception?
I believe it's 10. Or no, 10.
What's
Because I'm
your
not proficient in it.
What's your wisdom score? Nobody's proficient in passive perception.
10.
That's why it's passive. Well, I guess I could give Rich with the ears. I could give him proficiency in passive perception but only as to things that are audible.
If you have proficiency in perception, then it includes your
Yeah.
proficiency bonus in the passive.
I don't think it does. Maybe, but Yeah, I guess it might. Yeah, I don't know. But usually your passive perception is just your wisdom score and your um plus 10. Your wisdom bonus plus 10. But yeah, it could be at your proficiency if you're proficient in perception.
Yep, it would be because I'm just checking the numbers.
Yeah.
Mine's 12, but my wisdom bonus is 0. But with the fact
Gotcha.
that
But you're proficient in perception though. Okay. So
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
so it does add it if you're
Sure.
proficient. Okay. But still, technically, I don't think you would actually be proficient in passive perception because that would be just double proficiency.
okay,
No,
Yeah.
Well,
it still adds your you still add your proficiency bonus to it.
Yeah, because it's the score that literally that the DM just uses
Right.
to say like, okay, well everybody else didn't notice this, but you automatically notice this because your perception
Yep.
is
Okay.
so high
So,
that you pass.
Rua, you actually have a passive perception of 14. Anatoly, I didn't
that tracks.
Yeah.
add yours yet. Yours was 10 though.
Yeah,
Okay.
I am
So
not,
so
not proficient, and
so 14 and Rua, you notice that as you're moving forward, you notice an odd swinging shape in the tree branches up ahead. It looks like an effigy made by humanoids. It's the head of it remains. It is the remains of what looks like a sheep or a goat's skull, while the body is made of a moss-covered wooden frame. Behind the head, burned sticks fan out like kind of what looks like a halo or maybe a set of wings that clack together in the wind.
Let's see, who is this person I'm standing next to? Everybody's so tiny. So I'm standing next to somebody. I
You're
can't
standing
see for
next
the
to
tokens.
everybody.
Yeah, so I'll just kind of like do a tap on the shoulder of I think it's the bunny, and kind of point up at the thing that I'm seeing.
Ah, the sheep god. They made something to worship the sheep god.
There's a sheep god? I never met a sheep
There
god.
has to be. There's a god for everything. Rabbits have a god. Sheep must have a god
This
too.
is what you see here.
Oh yeah,
Isn't it-
definitely a sheep god.
Isn't it just sticks and a sheep?
Well, it's
Not
the actual
understanding.
god. It's a representation.
Why did this-
of
okay.
that.
Oh, an effigy. Is that what you call it in your language? An effigy. Oh.
No, the effigy is a bad word in our
There
language.
we go. Sorry, there we go. I was
Is it?
trying to show that earlier, but
Huh? Sure.
What about the
you
word
effigy?
beep, 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 beep?
That's a bad word in every language.
Really? Well, I heard some places use it as a greeting. Is that why people
You
look at me
give that
funny
a
when
try
I
and tell me how it works. You just go ahead
Truncate
and try that.
Anatoly. All right. So you guys get up there and you're looking at this effigy.
Yeah, I'll walk over to it there and take a look
Well, you
at it
guys-
and just mumble about how I've never ever met a sheep god before.
Well, the one
there
the
can't
one
be
you
a sheep god.
the one you see is hanging from a tree.
Oh, I thought it was that one over there.
You
Okay,
know,
I'll walk back.
that's a different one that looks very similar.
Oh,
All right, how
But
high
as you
up
near
is-
the cliff face, you see the trees grow increasingly fewer in number, and it appears that many have been cut down and cleared in a haphazard and wasteful manner. Jagged stumps and falling trunks litter the ground, and there's all kinds of discarded tools nearby: picks, axes, shovels, hammers. Observing the cliff itself, you can see an obvious gap in the limestone rock that looks to be an entrance to a cave. Posts and sticks surround the entry. Some are covered with feathers, others have skulls of small animals attached to the top. There's very similar in decoration to the effigy that you see hanging in the tree. It is
Okay.
no doubt
What do
the
you guys
work of
think of this?
goblins.
Yeah. And very obvious they came through here.
Shivam
no, no.
and Anatoly, what do you guys think of this?
It,
I've never really. I think it's a warning of sorts. Try and scare people off.
Oh, are you scared?
No, not in the least.
Not very effective then. No, I'm not
for
scared either.
me.
well,
I've known sheep all my life. They're not frightening.
I do
What
not know if
sheeple?
it is intended merely just to frighten. I feel like the offensive smell is what puts people off from entering.
Smells like the forest to me.
Brian, can you give Shivam an Arcana check to see if he picks up on anything that might be related to?
You can, yeah. You,
Magic
I
or-
will. I would allow you an Arcana or a history or religion, and that can be for anybody.
Let's go with the Arcana.
I would say that the Arcana is going to reveal the least, though. But it might tell you whether these effigies are magical in any way, shape, or form, like wards or whatever.
All right, let's start off then with Arcana, and if that gives nothing, we'll start digging into history.
Sir Tulip doesn't believe in religion.
No, not in this religion anyway.
He's like, there's no such thing as goblins.
Damn.
Okay.
That's a hard fail, man.
The 11 Arcana.
Yeah,
The
just-
11 Arcana reveals only that you're pretty sure that these things are not magical. However,
Alright.
if they were done with really complex spells, an 11 might not have been able to reveal it either. So you do know that.
All right,
You do
so
know
I'll
that-
pass that on.
You do know
and
that if
then
they
I'll
are magical,
try-
it's something you can't detect. You kind of feel in. What's your intelligence? Or wisdom? Either or.
Wisdom is 14.
Okay. You do feel that if this was a high-end magic, it wouldn't be used by goblins.
Okay.
That being said, you are wise enough to know that sometimes when goblins are at play, there is a greater force kind of working them.
All right. Now, what about the history that I just rolled?
The history
Wow.
check is much better. You do recall some sort of thing about this being basically a tribal effigy. You know, it's sort of represents their tribe, and the effigy represents death and hunting. The set of charred wings is usually a symbol that you'd be unfamiliar with, but likely it represents something to do that's significant to this clan that has to do with burning.
All right. I pass that on to the group and say I seem to remember that these are more tribal effigies. It has high significance to their group, their tribe.
Okay.
I can't just determine the difference with a low religion thing like that. Oh, so it's a false religion, so it's not a religion. But it's their okay, I got it. They're a bunch of heathens.
I don't know anything about sheep gods, but
at
did they
this
breathe
point-
fire?
At this point, with a 1, you didn't roll a nat 1, but with a 1, I would say that you're fairly convinced that religion doesn't exist at all.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
like-
all right. That's I'll play it that way.
But
Yeah,
you guys.
you and I were on the opposite ends of the spectrum.
but
Right.
as Sir Tulip has known in the past, he is known to be somewhat mercurial, so he may change his mind about that in the near future. So,
A paladin who doesn't. I guess I could be a paladios of atheism, suppose.
then you suddenly remember your oath and go, "Oh, okay, religion kind of does exist."
I'm torn.
But not for these heathens. Anyway, no.
No.
Anyways.
Heathens.
Whoa, the compass is moving.
The world is spinning. Woo! Okay. Anyway. All right. So,
Well, Shivam is roughly 30-ish feet up in the air right now, or towards the top of the canopy.
yeah. You guys all
I
basically
mean,
you have trouble seeing except for
Siobhan and Anatoly.
Anatoly. Well, no, I'm saying Shabam is up in the air, so you all have Anatoly except for Anatoly. The rest of you have trouble seeing Shabam, making him out against the night sky because
Okay.
it's he kind of blends in fairly well, even though he might be in somewhat colorful stuff. It's still dark out, and he's still way up in the air. Like still
All right.
30 feet away.
Shivam, at
And he's
that
small.
point,
He's
Shivam
tiny.
is going to fly 30 feet to the south, towards the southwest, down towards the compass.
Down towards the compass needle. Okay.
All right. How do I move my?
You should
Come
be able
on.
to just grab your guy, and you can either use your arrow keys, or you can just drag him over there. You can also do a neat little thing where you, if you grab onto your guy, you can kind of take and right-click once,
Okay. Yep.
and then
Now it's
you can move him, and when he moves wherever, then you kind of But all right. Well, technically that's about 30 feet, probably, but
all right.
I think, yeah, roughly.
All right. How can I spin essentially my token around so I can see, or does that not matter?
I'm not sure
Yes.
what you're saying. You should have all around vision of what you can see.
Yes. Yep. All right.
You should be able to see anything that's around you. Like
Alright.
the black areas are places that you cannot see through because they're
Yep.
too heavily obstructing your view.
All right.
This ridge here,
So the fog
you
of
could
war is
if you fly up over this ridge here, then you would be about 100 feet in the air. About
All right.
85, 90 feet in the air. And then you could see over the ridge if you wanted.
all right. And I fly over there.
You're going to do that? Okay. Is anybody
Yeah.
else going to do anything while Shidbom is off flying around?
Where's Sidbom? He was here. He told us what he saw, and then he took off.
In the
Are we splitting the party already?
I would like to do something, but I can't. There we go. There we go. Alrighty.
Should we wait for him? Should we go in?
Yeah. Shivam just kind of went poof up into the tree, so we can't really see where they went. Tulip, do you want to go check out this other thing? This other effigy?
Yep, we can go ahead and do that. I'll let you know. I am.
That one.
You can see from my armor, clankety clankety clank. I am not very good at doing it sneakily, but I will try. I will try to be quiet as much as I can.
Okay.
If you'd like, I could do it for you. If
You
you're
mean
worried about
quiet?
your armor giving away your position, I can go check it out.
Up
I'll
to
just-
the northeast over here.
And the Rua will kind of motion, like come on over here, because when he moved over to the other effigy, he could see Shidvam over there. Then he'll kind of like point, motion and point.
Yeah, and like I said, he's hard to make out, but you can see he's moving plenty to where, you can see him with like dark vision and stuff. You guys can see,
Mm-hmm.
like you can see Shitbomb flitting in and out. Obviously, Anatoly can see a little bit farther, so he can probably make him out a little bit better. But when Shitbomb is very still, he appears to be nearly invisible against the night sky. Because he's so far away, because he's so small.
Right.
You're looking at about a foot object, a foot long object that is 100 feet in the air, and
Just a hot dog, those big ones.
And whisper quiet wings.
Mm-hmm.
Are these axes on the ground or something that we see here, Brian?
yeah, axes, tools, hammers, some oddly butchered pieces of carcass, twigs, that kind of thing. You get up there, Anatoly, and you notice a rather crude-looking pit trap, like right under your feet, like nearly. You come right up on it, and it is not well hidden at all.
So does it look like these weapons and tools and shit have just been haphazardly thrown, like they left in a hurry, or
they're
are they
actually
carefully placed?
No, they're definitely haphazard, but it's also that they've got dirt and rust on them, so they've not only been haphazardly thrown, but they've been sitting here for a while now too.
Okay.
I-
Okay.
While Shivam is fluttering up,
You figure several weeks at least.
not sure who would hear this, but Shivam looks up to the sky after hearing the description and shit bomb and everything like that, and pretty much breaking the fourth wall, says, "Narrator is Shivam. The D and the T are silent." And then once that's done, over to the northeast, where there's the giant number 2 on the map. What is that? Are those goblins representing 2 goblins? Or
Where I don't see what you're saying.
Looks like a fire pit.
Oh, with the giant,
Yeah,
giant number 2 on the map.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I
that
will
one.
reiterate that it is kind of supposed to be theater of the mind. So, and I will reiterate that you don't actually see a giant number 2 on the floor inside that cave.
Okay. So that's the cave I'm looking at.
Unless you have a mental illness.
But what you see in there from where you're at is you see a soft dim glow, and a lot of smoke.
Okay, and that's looking inside of.
Well, that's from where
Uh,
you're at, looking into here.
Okay. Very good. All right. Shivam flies down to where the rest of the group is at this point.
Okay. Is anybody
you're
going
back.
to go into the cave by themselves or otherwise before Shivam gets back to you guys?
I
That
am
always
not
seems
going
like the
to.
wise thing to do.
I'm going to take a scan around to see if I see anything different than what we've already seen. Like, obviously, oh, look, there's a tree, but, like, is there anything particularly strange about these things lying on the ground? This
If
effigy we're
Anatoly
in
pointed
front
out
of.
if Anatoly pointed out the hastily, poorly made
Pit
pit
trap?
trap,
Yep.
might have,
Yep.
yeah, I'd kind of look around to see if there's maybe some not so poorly made pit traps.
Yeah. Apparently
They're
I'm
all
standing there
pretty poorly
fluttering.
made.
What was that, Brendan?
They're all pretty poorly made.
Yeah.
They're all shitty.
You notice that the effigies, if you were to put a preschool level art grade on them, they're also pretty poorly made. I
You can
mean,
tell at least that the
everything-
effigies were made with love.
everything you see some little makeshift fences by the entrance to the cave, and those makeshift fences are also very poorly made. They seem to be kind of shoddy and haphazard with everything. The cave itself is small. It's formed of the same pale brown dirt as the cliff face, with bits of limestone in it there also. The dirt floor is clear and unlittered by the debris that is outside the cave in the wards or effigies. There's none of those inside the cave. But you do see a number of fires and hot glowing pits of coals lining the edges. As a result, the chamber has a hot, cloying air just kind of wafting out, and the atmosphere of like the smoke just kind of gently obscures everything in there. It makes the room kind of difficult to see where it begins and ends. To the north, though, on the east wall, the northeast wall, is a badly made gate. Covers the entrance to the tunnel, to a tunnel, and you can see through the gate that there's a tunnel behind it. It's a shoddy, like there's probably a fist's worth of size, a human fist's worth of size between each of the gate slats. Next to the gate, though, you see 3 goblins. They're gathered, jabbering at each other in Goblin. One of them is throwing what looks like small shards of wood into a nearby fire and grinning when he makes sparks fly upwards, while the others kind of watch on in fascination.
Okay.
Out of character, I've got I happen to tune in for this part.
Does anybody speak Goblin?
Oh, you happened to tune in yesterday for this part?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
this
yeah.
part in particular, it was amusing. I liked it.
No, I don't.
Remember, that might not be the same this time though as the time you did it, or as the time they did it. So it'd be somewhat similar, but.
Are we gonna? Oh, do we just go right up and ask them to surrender and ask for the girl?
How about you just go up there and say, we're looking for someone. Have you seen her?
Okay.
I'm sure all of these.
And then punch him in the face.
But maybe we give consideration before we take this approach.
What's
Oh,
your
okay.
idea?
Well, I'm open to it.
Maybe there are more than around than we see right now.
Oh.
So
Yeah,
Rurik just
someone
pulls
who
out
can
his
do-
bow and goes, all right. Which one?
So someone's going to sneak around? I'm not a good sneaker.
You're a good clunker.
Good clunker.
Siobhan,
Siobhan can sneak around.
that's what he was going to
I
say.
think Anatoly said he could sneak too, a bit.
I'm not the best, but I'm okay.
Yep.
If you would like to take the lead on scouting, Siobhan, it
Yep.
might be
Yep.
the best.
So
You are
Siobhan is.
the most compact, the least noticeable, I think.
Exactly.
Siobhan will. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, Rua has a +5 to stealth, but he's a big guy, so it might not be as... He might not be as stealthy as Siobhan.
Teal 14
Okay.
says, I wonder which part was amusing to him. Don't give it away. Don't give it away. Can't give it away, though. All right. All right. The all-seeing eye. Goodbye. All-seeing eye. All right. So...
Oh, shoot.
So where you
Well, in
go?
case you get
Where
into
you go,
trouble,
Shabam?
I'm gonna get a
Yes.
javelin ready in case you get into trouble, so we can provide support.
Yep, I got a bow knocked. We're ready to go. Knock, knock.
And-
Here's my bow.
And before
So
anything
Siobhan is going to stay close to the canopy up in the
The top of the cave, you mean?
shadows. Yep.
A can of peas.
So you going into the cave and staying close to the top of the cave?
Yes.
Okay. It is, like I said, it is warm, like intensively warm and It is a little bit, you know, the smoke gives you a little bit of a sickly feeling.
I'd like to um, cast mage armor before anyone enters the cave. Because
Okay,
I should have done that before, but
that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, pretty.
All right, so Shivam, you go in there. You see these goblins talking amongst themselves. Hold on one second. Okay, they're just enwrapped in what this guy is doing, throwing this stuff and making the thing spark and just going ooh ah. You can tell that they're kind of fully convinced he's magical. And you kind of can tell that the goblin doing so is probably convinced himself he's magical also.
All right. Do I see the the daughter
You do not see
in
that.
here?
You do not see that, but you do see that big, shadowy crafted gate behind them, and you can see that it leads to a tunnel that goes beyond that.
All right.
You could easily fit through the gate slats.
All
You could
right,
easily
and how
fly over
tall-
the gate.
Okay, so it's tall enough and everything like that. All right.
Yeah,
I'm going
I'd say the top of the gate's probably about 8 to 10 feet tall. I'm leaning more toward 8
right.
since it was built by goblins.
Okay, I'm going to do that stealthily. What I'll do is hover or traverse that as close, hanging in the shadows, hugging the contour of the cave, going to the southeast route instead of a straight line.
Okay, so
That way I can-
you're gonna basically kind of do if you're following your character, you're gonna kind of do something along these lines.
Yes. I want to maintain. I want to do it stealthily and stuff like that.
All
I
right,
know I'm
go ahead and
relatively
give me a
stealthy.
stealth check.
All right, let's see. Stealth.
I will say you can give it at advantage. 21 is good. I would say you could roll a second one at advantage, but 21 is plenty fine. Nobody sees you.
Okay.
In fact, the rest of your party kind of lose you as you get lost in this smoke and shadows, and in the near the ceiling of the thing. You kind of like they don't see you either. So
All right.
So he can
Now-
turn invisible. That's cool.
With that said, Shivam is going to fly over the top of the
okay.
the gate into there and continue on down to see if he can find or see.
Well, you fly down what looks like a storage tunnel filled with sacks and rotten crates and heaps of rubbish. See, there's the rubbish part of our segment. The piles have some kind of strange organized purpose to them. Some of the piles are badly skinned animal hides, while others are heaps of plant matter decomposing in the humid air. Here and there along the wall, you can see torches lit with this nasty smelling tar that illuminating the way.
All right.
That would have been funnier if you've done the regular intro, Brian.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I meant to do the intro again, but I forgot today and yesterday.
All right. So Shivam then is gonna fly along up towards the end and see if he doesn't want to go too far and get too far away. Okay. So he stops there, and I guess to the north, directly to the north, there's a bonfire or something.
Okay, and we're okay. Yep, and we're gonna stop you right there, and then
Yep.
what are the rest of you doing? He is gone for, you know, several seconds, like probably a good 30 count.
And we hear no anything other than the goblins. We don't
Right.
hear Shivam.
Right.
And the goblins are still very much woo like nothing's changed.
Throwing stuff in the fire, yeah.
You assume that probably Shivam has moved on and is off doing his own thing in his normal, wistful, happy-go-lucky Fey way.
I was just gonna ask: is this something that Shivam does?
I mean, Fae are known for being kind of aloof and chaotic, so I mean, you think that maybe this is that, but
Are you saying he is
like
somewhat-
maybe he's abandoned the party
Flighty?
momentarily, or that he's off and moving on ahead to scout. It's hard to say which.
Okay, that
So-
was the question
so we
I was going to ask. How long have we been adventuring together now, so that they might understand and know that?
I would say for at least a couple months.
All right, so they
They-
probably, I would say
They
then
probably have a
in
good idea that you're
the-
off scouting ahead, but they also
Exactly.
know that you're a Fae and that you might kind of be a little chaotic sometimes.
Yes,
This is
it-
the
As
problem
in-
you have with that.
There
with
was
an
this one
absentee Fey.
time. Mhm.
He's a fairy who's known to be flighty.
You should have seen the time he went.
Oh, touche.
Look,
You should have seen the
look at
time he
look
went
at the
fly
bright, shiny
fishing.
thing.
Fly fishing.
You should have seen the time he went fly fishing. Boy, that was a story. Anyway.
Is this gonna be like the fly fishing incident? You think he's okay? Taking a pee
If
somewhere?
it is, we're gonna have to rescue him.
I'm not
just like
sure
we did
why
last
the
time.
lighting thing is showing me there's some kind of weird thing
Yeah.
here. Are you guys seeing that?
He probably
Well,
probably
what-
got
define
something
weird
caught his
thing.
interest.
Well, there's a wedge, a light wedge. Hang on, let me look at your guys' view here.
I see a weird triangle poking
Yeah,
out
that
towards
triangle. That's what I'm talking
A2,
about. Like I
yeah.
don't see where it's at
I
on
assume
the.
there's a wall there or something.
No, there's not. That's what I'm saying. Like there shouldn't be anything there that's causing it. Hold on.
Obviously, DM, you don't have enough dark
let me
vision.
let me see it. Yeah, right. Let me see if I can't. Oh, here. Let me delete it and see what happens. Ah. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I guess I don't get
And it just
to.
comes right
I
back.
don't get to pick.
I saw nothing.
Oh, that's because. Okay, wait a minute. Let me try this. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's try this. Nope, that didn't work either. Control Z. Why is it? It's selecting everything on the screen when I do that.
I don't know. But we still don't know if there's more goblins or not.
There's one,
far as
two
the-
goblins. There's 100 goblins.
There's
Question
three
is,
that
where
we
are they?
see-
So,
There's three that we see directly in front of us. There's the one that's throwing the stones or whatever inside the fire, and the two that are watching and are like, "Oh, magic,"
Yeah.
or whatever that is, but in goblin.
Yeah, that
There are
shouldn't.
more somewhere.
That shouldn't be a. Whatever. I don't know, man.
oh, fun.
I don't know. Oh, here we go. Wait. There we go. Oh my goodness, that was driving me
That's-
nuts.
Looks like the same thing you did just a minute ago.
What do you mean?
But this time he meant to.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
That's how
fair.
you meant
That's
it.
fair.
Well, no, it just depends.
so-
It depends on what you mean because if you can see that. Oh, yeah, it is the same thing I did a minute ago. Okay, never mind. Never mind.
Hey, as long as it sticks this time, right?
Because I can see this area here, even though it's on the other side of a wall.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be visible. Hang on, this should be.
You can pretend.
Usually,
theater of the not mind.
Yeah, see,
Yes.
it's not there. Anyway, but yes, okay. So regardless,
Let's see. So Rua will comment on the fact that yeah, there may be 3 goblins here, but there are
okay. Now
going to
I've
be
now I've
more.
messed it up royally, but okay.
There's no way that they could have excavated all this or done all of this all by themselves. So they may have scouting parties out. They're probably more in the cave. Just assume we're surrounded by them. But he's so very nonchalant. Yeah, they're probably all over the place. Watching. Waiting.
Okay,
Why
so
not?
so you guys are gonna go into the cave, or I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a couple of steps forward. I am gonna try to be quiet. If I'm not, oh well, but I am going to make an attempt to be.
Okay,
quiet this time.
Shivam, you moved. Did you move yourself?
No, I was about to ask
Okay.
you,
Hold on one
did
second.
you move me?
Well, it could have
Because,
been when I was messing with stuff. So hold on.
Yep.
Mhm.
For some reason, I've got terrain and stuff where there should not be terrain and stuff.
Totally stealthy there. Ha 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 ha. I roll a 2.
That was a very good Major Pain impression.
Okay.
Oh wait, that
All right. What is it? What is Okay, so what do you
Oh,
you got a
what am I doing?
You got a stealth of 7 there. That's not very good.
Well, and consider I got Tulip behind me too.
Hey,
Yeah,
Tulip,
and Tulip is
disadvantage.
oddly quieter than you are, but and Anatoly, you can see that Tulip, Sir Tulip is well, he seems to be fairly stealthy by comparison, and you and Anatoly, Sir Tulip kind of like looks at you guys, and I would say, Sir Tulip, you wonder if they're even trying.
I feel like I'm so
I am
mystified by the
used to
fact that he's
moving in
clunking,
heavy armor.
that he's moving so silently in the armor that I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing.
Right.
And when you trip over that rock, Rua, well, okay, you don't really trip. You kick the rock.
When he kicks it.
You kick the rock, and it goes skittering across the floor. You see the goblins, all 3, stop and look in your direction, and they clearly see you and Anatoly, and they're just like, they're just frozen. And you see one of the goblins is like got the wood chips in his hands, getting ready to throw them in the fire, and he's just frozen now too. And they're just like looking at you. They look at each other. They're looking at you.
Is that a rabbit in armor? Really? God. So Rule would be like, "Excuse me."
Well, they don't see. They don't think they see Tulip. They just see.
No,
us.
just see,
I'm
just
just
see you and Rua. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
just
seeing. So
kinda
he'll be
you.
like, "Excuse me."
I picture Rua
Hello.
like this. I picture Rua like this. He's one of those. Have you ever been like by a wild animal and they're just standing really still, and then you don't even notice them until you
Right.
walk right up on them, and then they're
Right.
like jet off, and you're like, holy shit, like so. I picture Sir Tulip's kind of just something like really still, and for whatever reason they just don't notice him, but they notice the obvious moving,
Right.
clumsy creatures in front of them.
And I feel like I emulate the goblins' behavior when they're like looking at us and looking at each other. I start like looking from them to Rua and back to them.
Start doing the same thing.
I am a Harengon after all, guys. Even in heavy armor, I can know how to try to be quiet.
Yeah, I
can be
always
Harengon.
thought that was clever. The naming of that race,
Yeah.
like here and gone.
So,
Yeah.
so the goblins, after noticing you guys kind of looking back and forth at each other, what did you say, Rua?
He goes, "Hello, excuse me."
Have you seen this woman?
They say,
Yeah, hold on the picture.
they look, the one that was holding the wood looks confused and says, you new recruit?
Are we in the right
Yes,
place?
yes, we are new recruits. That is us.
You
We are
see
the new guys.
You see this one here. He walks over to the one with the wood in his hand and smacks him on the shoulder and says, "They not goblin."
Oh, I was hoping that I could make a deception check for that.
My mother
Go
was
ahead.
a
Go,
goblin.
go ahead and
thank
make a
you.
deception check. Go ahead and make a deception check.
God damn it! What is? I want
Welcome
new
to
dice.
Roll 20.
I want these. I want these virtual dice to be put in virtual dice jail.
Right.
I'm about to
Oh.
spam the chat with a bunch of rolls
damn
to
it.
refresh them.
So, yeah, Ruo, I'll change what he said if I may. We'll say something like, my mistress was a goblin. Thank you.
You have mistress.
you hear them. You hear them like. They get, one of them gets even more confused, and then the three of them start talking amongst each other, and they're speaking in Goblin. Do any of you speak Goblin?
No.
No.
I got Sylvan on top of that, but that's it.
So just to add to the confusion, I'll turn to Rua and start speaking Draconic.
He'll respond in like deep speech. Be like, what the hell are you saying to me? I don't get this.
I don't know what you're saying, but I feel like we should be just doing what they're doing and just confuse them.
They probably are too stupid to tell the fact that they're speaking two different
okay.
languages.
So I'll join in and speak in Sylvan.
Oh no! Oh yes! Suddenly reveal there's another member of us. That's not gonna go terrible.
Right.
Well,
So Rua will kind of say a little bit louder in common, something like, but they told us these were the best guys around, that we should try to join them. Apparently they're not the best.
It's true. They're
So make your deception check, Tina. Make Rua's deception check. There.
Oh god, he's gonna fail this so bad.
Oh no!
Are we giving the help action by doing this crap or not?
I'm
No.
proficient in deception.
Yeah,
right.
by since you guys are all working together to create this deception, you guys could have advantage for the help action. Yes. All right.
Well,
Yeah, the dogs are in agreement. I'll go mute you guys for a minute.
I will be right back.
So roll again, team.
you want me to roll again, or did you
Yeah,
want Brandon to do it?
Brandon, you rolled first, so you roll again first.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you did.
God, look at this. Look at this.
Yeah, so you're doing terrible. How about Tina?
Roll
How
20
about
is
you?
biased.
Roll your
I
no, you
demand
roll
a
your
mid-trial.
second one first for your
Well,
advantage.
I do. I have like a 0 in deception. Where is
yeah,
at least
Well,
where
if you
is
don't
it?
want to roll
There
again,
it
that's
is.
up to you. But I think you
No,
might
no,
do
no,
better.
I will.
You might do better than
I-
a 3. Is my
Okay,
point.
why is this? Look at, I did 7 for a stealth. I did 3 deception. Brandon got 7. I got 7. Roll 20. Roll 20. What the hell?
You know what that means? That our average on those rolls is 7. On those 4 rolls, the average is 7.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
okay. We ain't fooling even the stupid guys.
Okay. They are. Let me do something here. Let me give
We might be
give a.
confusing them. Even Rich, you got a 7 there too. Look at that.
Hang on one second.
Look how terrible their roll was.
We're just a bunch of oafs.
Okay. They look very confused, and they you see them back off, and they open the gate and go behind the gate. and you can see them peering through the gate area,
We just need to talk to the manager.
Oh,
Look,
man.
guys.
And
Obviously, there's been
Hey,
some confusion here. We want to talk to the manager.
Hold on. New character. Sorry.
and then suddenly
Who dis?
you can see that 2 of them all but vanish from sight. And the the third one like stumbles around and runs into a wall.
I'd
Well,
like
that
to.
went well.
I'd like to use predatory charm on that third one. That's still in view.
I don't know what that is.
Well, I put it in the chat there.
As an action, you can magically beguile the mind of a creature that you can see within 30 feet. Again, remember, if I said that if you put it in chat, I have to know. You have to tell me,
Right,
because
yeah.
I'm not always in the window on Roll20. I'm not always on Roll20. I've got several different windows going on at once over here,
Gotcha.
including the Streamlabs window and the adventure window and
And
the several NPCs and you know I'm
And the porn, yeah.
and the porn, of course, the porn, always the porn.
You're farther than 30 feet away.
For 1
Oh,
hour, you
yeah.
have advantage on
Okay.
charisma checks made against the target. If you or your allies attack or damage the target, this effect ends. Okay, when the effect ends, the target feels repulsed by you. Okay, predatory charm. Okay.
So I'd have to move forward.
Yeah, and
Well,
you
let's
and
move
you would
towards
know
the
that.
gate.
Okay, so Shivam, up ahead of you, you hear a little bit of commotion going on back down the tunnel, but up ahead of you, you see what seems to be an area of the cavern that's covered with cots and sleeping pallets and such. It seems to be both a gathering place for goblins and where they rest and sleep. Many of the nooks and crannies along the walls are filled with dried grass and rough-looking reed mats. In the center, a large bonfire burns, surrounded by rocks and the remains of burnt animal carcasses and bones. The area seems mostly empty despite a large number of beds. The sole occupant of the room, aside from you, is a small, frail-looking goblin next to the fire who seems to be cooking something. He has his back... He's basically cooking it on a stick. He has his back turned towards you, and a strange-looking dog lies at his feet. By strange, I mean it seems to have 8 insect-like legs. As well as the eastern passage that you can see, which you entered, there's also a small tunnel leading out to the south and another larger tunnel. A small tunnel leading out to the north and another larger tunnel leading to the south.
All right. Siobhan is going to.
That's actually accurate the way I originally described it, but I've got the compass set up to ignore. So.
All right.
The compass is set to ignore. From now on, the north is the north and the south is the south. I never liked that about this map.
Okay. He's gonna fly around the perimeter of this room, going east to north to.
The dog starts barking at you. No, I'm kidding.
You're discovered.
You're discovered. Make it do make a stealth check though if you're gonna be stealthy.
All right.
Uh-oh, you disappeared.
I disappeared, or my character disappeared.
Your character. Okay. Yeah, you make a stealth check when you're flying through the room first there.
Okay.
Okay. So 18, you're good to fly up there, around to there. And we'll go back to you guys real quick. Jumping back and forth between two segments here. So what are you doing, Brandon? You're gonna get closer and do the predatory charm or no?
I measured it out. I'm not close enough to be able to do it. Like, even if I move forward 30 feet, I wouldn't be close enough. If you want, I can make the move forward as if I was going to try to do it.
That's up to you. I'm not controlling your character.
Yeah,
you can do whatever you decide you want to do.
So I would have come here and attempted, but I would have seen right away that I was not close enough.
Oh yeah, like so close.
Yeah, so
like 5 feet. Ah, man.
So you You definitely okay. So you don't have dash as a
Well, yeah,
bonus
I know.
action.
That is a bonus action, so I can't do predatory charm as the action.
Right. So what you want to do? You could still dash though, if you wanted to. And you don't remember when you dash, you don't have to use the full amount of movement.
Okay.
The reason I say this is because if you were to dash and moved 5 feet further, then you'd be set up to do it the next round, would you not?
Right, but then he could.
Hold on, wait.
if he moves-
Let me finish. You would be set up to
Okay.
do it the next round, would you not? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
If he doesn't
So
move.
that's neither here nor there. You can't control that. What I'm saying is you'd be set up to do it the next round. Otherwise, the next round, you have to move and then do it, because the thing is even if he did move, let's say he does move. If you said if he doesn't move, but if he does, then you're still 5 feet further away from him at that point too, than
Right.
you would be if you were 5 feet closer to him. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you could do that at this round. If you're not going to do anything else, it doesn't make sense not to. Really. I mean, unless you're worried about him shooting at you, which could happen.
That's 30 feet. Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you're going to do the same thing the next round, then why waste your movement that you could have this round when
Right.
you can only move 60 feet in a round, and if you do that, you have to take the dash action to do it.
Right.
So okay. So anyway, so you're gonna go ahead and move up there.
Yeah, I'm as best I can tell from where I'm positioned. I shouldn't be like directly visible, like
I'm
in a
gonna
vulnerable position.
say you have 3/4 cover.
Okay.
So +5 AC,
Okay.
and Rua and Sir Tulip, are you going to do anything?
I'm going to. Well, go ahead, Tulip.
Well, I might end up. The dogs are being unruly, but I'm going to move up the cover. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'll switch out my javelin for my sword, so I'll be ready to melee if it should come to that.
Yeah, I've got the bow out. I've got it at the ready. I'm gonna ping anybody who starts. If the goblin raises his bow, I'm gonna try to shoot him. For example, if he gets threatening.
Okay.
This.
The only other thing that I'll say in common, what I kind of started to say before is, obviously been a misunderstanding and miscommunication between your boss and us. Now let's go through and we'll talk this through.
And I'm gonna take my movement up too.
All right. Make a deception check, Sir Tulip, or you could try persuasion.
Thank you. Better at persuasion.
And I do have to end things on my end at least at 2:30, by the way.
It's not going to matter with roll 20, is it?
Okay.
No,
Yeah, persuasion.
not really.
A nice
Would you get
solid
another
10.
7? Ooh.
No, it's a 10. So I rolled a 7, but it ends up being a 10.
Where is?
Well, to be fair, mine were straight rolls because I have a 0 bonus, so it likes 7s today.
I mean, which would be great if we were on a slot machine, but it is not
Right.
great in roll 20.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rua, you move up. In response, you see that the one goblin that you can still kind of see, he kind of haphazardly fires his bow and arrow around the corner and tries to hit Anatoly. Oh wow, okay.
And he hit.
At disadvantage, he hits Anatoly.
Oh wow.
Right. Well, it's good that someone's rolling good.
For 8 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. I'm gonna just for fun and thing.
Is there something you can do?
I think so.
I believe he hits you. What's your armor class? 15? Oh no, he does not hit you. He miss. No, yeah, he does. It was a 22. He still hits you. Yep. So because you'd be at 20.
Yeah.
You'd be at 20.
Yeah. Okay. It's disadvantage, so it's great. Even if I did it, it would still.
Right. It would put him at disadvantage -1, which would put him at 21, which would still be a hit.
Yeah, and you'd have to be within 5 feet of me.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Well, even so, it would still hit you.
I was in. Yeah, it's gonna hit you no matter what. I intended to be up with where you are. I just didn't have enough.
Oh,
time to
actually,
move,
no. It would
so.
put him at a 20. So it's still, but it still hit him at a 20. So, because that's what he's at is at 20. And the goblin right now is at disadvantage -1. So you actually rolled a 21.
So.
I think when I get hit with the
Sorry about that. I tried to catch it with my shield.
So you take
stinky
8.
little arrow.
So you take 8 damage from this goblin who can barely see you, shooting around the corner, just taking shots in the dark, so to speak.
May I shoot in response?
If you want to do that, we're gonna roll initiative.
I hiss at him in response.
Hang on, let me clear turns. I don't know why there's a dude in there, but okay, go ahead and click on your token.
How do I roll initiative?
All right, so Shivam, for you, you're gonna click on your token, and on your character sheet, in the top center, there should be a thing that says initiative, and you're gonna click on the word initiative. There you go.
All right.
All right, and I'm gonna roll for him for initiative, but he's already went. So if his is higher, just disregard it, or like if his is higher than yours, just disregard it. In this case. Sometimes that'll mean that he just made a reaction shot. But
Okay. I have to leave in 15 minutes.
all right.
For work.
Oh, work schmirk.
I know. Work schmirk.
Yep. Well, we did run a little bit behind because of some technical
Worst case,
difficulties
yeah.
and such too. So okay. So Anatoly. Let's see. It looks like Rua, you're gonna be first.
Okay.
If I can get the thing to work. Oh, there we go. Okay. So Rua, you are gonna be. I take that back, Rua. You go to fire your bow in return, and 2 goblins reveal their location. The first one is at Rua that sees you lifting your bow, and the second one is at Sir Tulip. And they both reveal their location. 1 second. There. Change layer and token layer. Okay, so they both have went. The first one that hit what the world? Oh, that okay at disadvantage. Whew. Okay. Yeah, because I was gonna say there was a nat 20 there, but it was a disadvantage. But 18 still hits Rua, right?
Excuse me. Yes.
Okay, so yeah, so you are.
Ouch.
Oh no, it would have been straight rolling. Shoot. Yeah. So, anyways, regardless, you take 4 damage.
Okay. Provided my character sheet actually. There we go. There we go.
Yeah, it should have been. It should have been technically the nat 20 because
Two,
you would have been
three,
straight rolling.
four.
All right, and then
All
Rua,
right.
you fire off your arrow,
Yeah.
and the one that's going after you, you can tell is the one that's getting ready to reload their bow. That's the one to the north that's kind of in the most cover. But you've got a clean shot on the one behind the gate with, you know, like a little bit of a obscurement, but it doesn't
Yeah.
cause disadvantage.
Let's just take the clean shot there.
Okay.
Oh crap! My hunter's mark. Oops.
That'll work. Bonus action hunter's mark?
Yeah, I'm not sure how to use it yet though, so
Alright, go ahead and hit.
let's just shoot him at 19. Yep. That
Yep.
hit?
Yep, just go ahead and click on the longbow and see how much damage you did there. Alright, 9 damage. You see him drop. And you hear, ah! And he...
Oh, please play it.
Please play it, please play it.
Please play it. I
There you
just
go.
laugh like a child every time Brian does that. I love it.
This gate that they're hiding behind, how like does it expand the height of the
No,
entrance,
it's like I said, it's only like 8, maybe 10 feet tall. You could, yeah, Anatoly, if you have a good, what's your strength?
Oh no, my strength is 10.
Athletics, acrobatics.
Oh man.
I have a +2 to acrobatics.
Okay.
My dexterity is 14.
You could probably climb over the gate in you know like half movement speed, you know.
Okay.
So it'd be like 10 and you know be like 20 feet of movement and you'd be over the gate. It might though, as rickety as it looks, it might just fall when you're trying to climb it.
Well, as long as it falls on them, that'd be fine.
That's I would say that's a 50-50 chance. All right, Rua, you shot one and killed it. The other goblin that's hiding precariously fires another blind shot. And I don't think he can hit anyone with that. Rua, what is? He could hit Rua. So let me see. Well, no, he'd be a 13. So he misses everybody. It comes closest to hitting Rua and just like kind of, you know, shoots past his ear. And then Anatoly, you're up.
Also, real quick, I just need to shout out to Gavin again. Like, oh my gosh, thank you. It looks awesome.
Oh, did you get it already?
Yeah.
Nice.
Right. And the dick pics were great too. Thanks. I'm gonna get Gavin in trouble.
Mental note: if you want to send Tina
They're all
your dick
shit.
pics,
They're
let
all
us
shit.
review them first here at actionsurge5e.com or actionsurge5e at gmail.com. That's what,
Don't. They're gonna send them now.
now they're gonna send dick pics and we'll review them and send them on to you, Tina. We'll make sure everyone goes to you.
I'm collecting them for research.
With appropriate comments.
Collecting them for research. She will be rating them. She rates
It's for
low.
science.
If you don't want to be shamed, then don't send them. I'm just, right now, Michael's going, what did I get into?
Okay. I'm going to come over and scale the gate.
You don't want to use your predatory charm?
At this point, I'd only be using it on one, and it's not going to make him attack the other one.
Why wouldn't it?
Let me check.
It won't make him attack himself.
It won't make him like attack his friend or anything like that.
A hostile
you have
creature
advantage.
won't necessarily attack outright, but it won't deal with you in any way that might actively hinder you. You can use this trait once and regain the ability, but it doesn't say that he won't do it. It says he won't necessarily.
So if I use that, I basically I'd only be using it to tell him to
there's-
open the gate, maybe.
Yeah, there's no reason that he wouldn't necessarily attack his friend. You know what I'm saying? He's just charmed. He's basically charmed.
And
Yeah, you don't know how friendly they are. These guys might not like each other anyway.
Well-
somebody please play my character. I do have to go, guys. Work is calling. Thank
All
you
right.
so much. I had fun.
All right.
I will see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thanks, Gavin.
Bye.
Bye, Dina.
Um.
And I'm gonna have probably about a 2:45, 3 o'clock hard
Yep.
stop also at this point.
No, that's fine. Yeah, we normally are done quicker, but there's a learning curve too.
I think since I believe Siobhan's on the other side of this gate, right? We saw him go in
Yeah,
there.
you didn't see where he went, so
You wouldn't know.
Well, I mean, I saw him go
No.
in, and I thought I saw him. Did we not see him go past the gate?
No, you seen him go in and disappear. You see him go into the
Okay.
cave and basically all but vanished.
Okay. Well,
You could
Just because,
you could guess that he's beyond the gate, but go ahead and you're gonna climb the gate.
yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna.
All right, give me an athletics
Yeah.
check or acrobatics, either one. It's fine.
Okay. This is gonna. I mean, we saw how well I've been rolling so far. So
Right.
why should it be?
Uh,
Look
I
at that.
know.
This.
Alright.
This is
And the
ridiculous.
trend continues.
I haven't-
Roll 20
I haven't-
hates you today, apparently. Okay, so then pick high or low, Brandon.
My highest roll was
All right, so pick high or low for Anatoly.
low.
29, good call. So then you're climbing up the thing, and you feel the gate shudder and creak, and then just you feel the wood beams across crack, and it falls over on the remaining two goblins.
That is not the
Uh,
cool image I was going for.
And both of the goblins are now prone, and you are also kind of prone, but you're not actually truly prone. You're just kind of on, like, you got your knees down, and you're kind of like pushed yourself back up. As the gate falls, you're kind of like standing on top of this gate on top of two goblins,
Okay.
and
And-
who both look like they're severely hurt.
Because this guy is directly in their line of sight, and this guy's kind of stashed. I'm gonna go ahead and attack him. Like I'll lunge at him with Dark Maw,
This would be something we call the butchering moves.
and he's prone, so I would have advantage.
He's prone, and he's basically pressed under the gate, so it looks like somebody has taken a barbecue grill and dropped it on two big hunks of meat. That's how this kind of looks. Yeah. So yeah, he's prone, and you have advantage. He's also restrained at the moment.
So yeah, I will. Why is it? Why did that change back?
So you'd have advantage +1 technically
I don't know why this keeps changing on me.
to compensate for your low rolls, man. Just go ahead and roll, Brendan.
That's right.
There's
No,
only so
no,
many hours in a day, sir.
Mm. Okay, it did make the. Hold on.
There we
Yeah.
go. 6 necrotic.
14 hit.
Oh, is that the
Four-
is the 6 the damage?
Yes,
Why did it roll
So
the
I
damage
roll-
before the 14?
because I accidentally clicked on the damage part before I clicked on the attack roll.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh, okay, I see. I didn't realize I would do that. All right, yeah. So 14 definitely is going to hit. because you're at
Okay.
you're at 15 technically.
And there was supposed to be a second part to that. That didn't happen.
The spell
so
description
I'm
thing.
gonna- yeah.
On a
it
hit,
should be-
they take 1d8 necrotic damage as your shadowy fangs seek into it. If you have a bite attack, such as from a racial trait or spell-like ability, you can add your spellcasting ability modifier to the damage roll.
So I will gain 1 temporary hit point.
Hold on. You add your spellcasting ability modifier to the damage roll, but not to your temporary hit points. Do you have a bite attack? You don't, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so
He's a damn fear, right?
right.
Yep.
So my question is it was supposed to be 1d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier? Oh, it did do that. Okay. Okay, so you only rolled a 3. Okay, I gotcha. Okay.
Right. Yep. And
Yep.
then the 1d4 came out to 1 temporary hit point.
Okay, so it's
would hope there was
1d4
more than
temporary
that,
hit
but-
points.
Yeah.
Yeah, that don't
If you hit
even
a
that don't even
humanoid-
make any sense. But okay. But
Well,
anyways,
because
he
they're
dies.
Fighting.
Yeah, it still
essentially.
doesn't make any sense. It should still be however much damage you did is how much it shouldn't be 1d4. It should be so if you did with your bite attack, if you did 1 hit point in this case, then yes, but
You mean
instead of gaining 1d4 temporary hit points, if you bit something with 2 hit points and gained 4 hit points, that'd be kind of weird.
Yeah.
If you bit a spider and it had 1 hit point and it killed the spider instantly, but you gained 4 hit points, that'd be weird. But all right, so Shivam, you hear this commotion. There's somewhat of maybe a battle going on behind you, but I think you are kind of pressed to go forward and see what's up ahead, right?
Well,
Or are you going to turn back at this point?
hearing, unless I see signs that the captive is up here, and I don't seem to see that right now.
Yeah, you basically it's a really dark cave. You see basically what appears to be a cave filled with mist. It's a tiny tunnel. To you, it seems pretty big. It's barely allows a full-size humanoid to squeeze through, though, on their hands and knees. The tunnel's walls press in, and the cramped space gives anyone willing to crawl through the room little room to negotiate.
All right, Shivam,
In there, for you, it's just like, it's another tunnel,
all right. Then at this point, then Shivam is going to stop, turn around, and head back, and see what the commotion is, because he's probably guessing they've engaged, and he needs to rejoin the party at this point.
All right.
We're not even dating yet. Don't have us engaged.
All right. So head back. You can go up to double your movement if you want. And Sir Tulip.
Yeah.
Are you going to do anything? You notice that
you bet.
one of the goblin is it's a goblin under pressed glass, that kind of thing, and
So can I get to him? I think I can with just regular movement. So I'm going to move up to the goblin under pressed glass.
yeah, I think you could
I'm gonna
actually
look
jump
at
that
him.
far, can't you?
Probably. All right. For flavor, I jumped that far. Hop. And say, "Do you yield and surrender and repent? The way of redemption." The goblin.
It says, "I yield. I yield. Tell the big
Okay.
one to get off me."
Oh, all right. You yield. Do
You can-
no more harm, and you are on the path to redemption. And I'll help. Well, if someone's on him, I'll try to encourage him off. If the gate is on him, I'll lift the gate
Yeah,
so he can.
gate. The
gesture for
Anatoly.
him to go for
The
it.
gate is on him, and Anatoly's on the gate. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, can I try to remove both of them so that he can get out?
Yeah, yeah. Are you gonna try to get off the gate there for him, Anatoly?
I feel at this juncture he is more on a path to being my food.
Well, you don't have to do what I'm doing, but this is just this is character stuff and what I'm going to try. So whatever.
So are you gonna move?
Very well, he yields.
Okay. All right. So you get up. You help the goblin up, and it seems to cautiously thank you guys, and it seems to also be waiting for you to stab it or run it through. And it looks around and it sees the two other dead goblins, and it says, "Oh!" And then it hands you its sword and its bow.
See, they know how to surrender. All you have to do is give them the chance to surrender.
I'll point at the mouth of the cave that we came through, and I say, "The exit is that way."
Okay,
Find it.
he runs 30 feet, and then he dashes 30 feet, and then he bonus action dashes 30 feet.
A quick exit stage left.
Nearly falling into the pit on his way out. All right, so you guys head into the cave. Shivam, you are heading back. Are you heading back toward them, or are you heading to look down the other cave real quick?
No, I was heading back towards them.
Okay. When you get back that way, you hear the action has died down. So I will say, and if you guys are moving forward, moving up, you guys see the storage area again, like what I was describing earlier. And you guys can move yourselves up from there. But you guys basically see the rotting, sacks and crates and plant matter, that kind of thing.
Do you want to bring Rua
Who's
along?
wounded? I know that Rua took a hit. Does anybody else worse than Rua?
I took a hit as well.
Yeah, Anatoly took a hit. Oh.
A pretty hefty one. I took 8 damage.
Okay, I think that's what. Let's heal you up.
I don't know what's Rua at.
He's still pretty good. 27 of 30
okay,
something.
well then, I didn't pull that across, so that's just 1d8 spellcasting ability is not that great. I'll have to put more in charisma, but so just add 1 to this. Oh crap. Well, 2. Tell you what, why don't we?
2
why
hit
don't
points.
I go
Woo!
and I tell you what. Let me see. Now this is the thing. I'm going to
Hey,
cast
can I give him
it
inspiration on the
a second time. Oh, can you do that? Can you use inspiration for a health roll, Brian?
For what? Oh no.
Reroll the-
No.
All right. Well,
No, not normally. Not normally. If it was
Okay,
an
well,
attack roll, a saving throw, an ability check, yeah.
I will after that, and it's like, oh crap, that
His
didn't work very
ability
well.
to heal me.
So I'll tell you what. Let's. All right.
Don't look like he has much
let's-
ability to me. No,
I was just saying
Yeah,
it does
does it?
add his spellcasting ability modifier,
which is
so
1 at this
that's-
point.
it's
so you
1,
get
so
2.
2, yeah.
so it's kind of an ability
But-
check. Okay.
I can do lay on hands though, and I'll do that on top
And
of it.
remember, you have a pool, so you can so if you healed 2, you could do 6 more if you wanted, and just take from that healing pool. I don't know how big your healing pool for the lay on hands is, but I think it's 50.
It's 5 per level.
It's 5 per level. Okay, so
Yeah.
so it'd be
15.
15 total. Yeah, 15 total. Yep.
If he's your full paladin like mono class.
I'm trying to get the. I'm trying to open my thing again, and it won't do it. Okay. Well then, all right. Then let's. How many do you need?
I would need 6 more to be at full.
I'll give you 6 more, and then I'll have. I'll leave 9 in the pool,
Thank you.
and plus the fact that I foolishly burnt a spell for not helping you very much. But oh well.
The dice are not always fair.
Or
No.
not
Or
ever
just, I should say.
fair.
Maybe they're always fair, but never just. I don't know, something. All right, so Shivam, you get back. You see that your friends seem to be not too much the worse for wear.
You can say they are just not fair.
Siobhan passes on to them what he saw as far as scouting up ahead. And the directions that he went.
And then I would lose that temporary hit point that only lasts until my next turn.
What do you mean?
From the dark
the
maw,
one, yeah.
the
okay.
1d4 is only lasts.
Excuse me.
Gotcha. Okay, so you guys head up into the room. Into the room with the. Why you do that? Into the room with the old man and the goblin.
I read that one.
The old man and the goblin. It's like the old man and the sea, only different.
Yep.
It's very derivative. All right, so we'll have you guys all kind of move up there, like that. You see the old man and the dog thing, dog creature, in the room. As you get there, he turns and looks at you guys and says, "Oh, nasty bit dealing with those morons, huh?"
Well, they just needed an education. A couple good whacks, and at least one of them changed his ways.
He says, "You can't win 'em all, I suppose."
The others will not be moved anymore.
He says, "I imagine you folk are here about that girl."
You might say that.
He says, "Yes, well, it's not up to me." He says, "If it were, she wouldn't even be here. But, well, go talk to the dragon."
Where is it?
He points down this hallway here, this tunnel.
What's the dragon's name? We don't want to be impolite.
He goes by Ragma, though that's just the name that the goblins gave him.
Yeah, I know, probably not his true name, but
He says, and by goblins, I mean goblins other than me.
So you don't identify as a goblin?
He says, I don't identify as a moron. He says,
I myself have I have a friend as well that I see you have there. What is the name of your friend?
He says, oh, this is Dibbles. Don't worry, he won't bite unless you try to harm me. He does tend to shed a bit, and he gets web all over.
I am much the same. I will not bite if you don't try to harm me. Yes.
Nibbles, I like that. That's sort of my way that I go as well. I nibble at things. So.
Oh no, Dibbles.
Oh, Dibbles. I thought yes. So you said
Dibbles. Sorry.
Rhymes with nibble.
He says, but close. I once knew a mouse named Nibbles, I believe.
The name does sound familiar. Yes.
What
Okay.
does Siobhan see? Siobhan sees I guess what appears to be-
Siobhan, you can, when you kind of like look down that hallway, you can see a large cavern ahead filled with smoke, and you can smell the overbearing scent of burnt meat. The air is thick with the smoke, and lying in the center of that cavern is a green-scaled creature. Its body is longer than 2 full-grown men. Smoke rises from its nostrils, and its eyes are a deep golden color. They flick backwards and forwards, surveying the area with restless edge of a beast that's spent too long inside. The creature's clearly a dragon, and although it is impressive in size, it seems young and excitable. Around it, a circle of fires burns softly, giving the huge chamber an eerie orange glow. And in the northern corner, you can barely make out what appears to be something moving. Some sort of movement. And you can hear like a rattling.
Right. Siobhan is going to stealthily. Let me look that. And
Sure you are.
damn, he thinks he's just a fucking dog's balls. He's flying around and everything like that. Around the corner.
Okay, are you guys
Yeah.
going to do anything, the Tulip and Anatoly and
Sure.
Rua?
I'm gonna say,
I'm gonna continue to the.
Siobhan's gone off again. Oh no, there he is. I see him. There he is, flying very obviously.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue
No
to the,
stealth
into the
whatsoever.
room where the dragon is at.
You're going to continue to move to where the dragon's at too, Brendan? Is that what you're saying? Okay. And
Yeah.
Sir Tulip, you're kind of going that way too?
Yes, sir.
You hear a loud, kind of booming but low voice that's, would someone just squash that bug?
You get used to him. He's not as bad as he seems.
He says, they're all as bad as they seem.
Where is oh, I see him. Never mind.
Yeah,
Right
and
on Tyler's
Shivam,
head,
when you
or-
get in there, you can see up in this corner, you can see a small girl chained to a rock up in the corner.
Alright. Siobhan says, release that girl.
He says, and why would I do that?
Because if you don't, this may be the last day that you breathe on this earth.
He says,
Uh,
I
do
think,
you want to make
I'm
do you want to
sorry.
make an intimidation check?
I think
Sure, why not?
I wouldn't. I think Anatoly would not be able to help himself. I think he would begin to chuckle.
group huddle.
Okay. He laughs. He
Yeah, I
says,
guess I lost that one.
you hear him go. Oh, I suppose you're right, Rabbit Man. He does grow on you, doesn't he? Oh, you're so comical. I haven't had such a good laugh in ages. Oh, goodness, I don't know what to do with myself. I'm quite positively flabbergasted. Oh, don't say such funny things, small one. He says,
All right.
all right. You can have the girl. She whimpers and whines as much as she wants. Anyways, and I would rather not have that in my ear much longer. I'd actually prefer the buzzing. And he says, but there is one small thing. Could you not entertain a fellow? Perhaps a game, a song, a story.
I would like to step in here if possible,
Okay.
and say to him in Draconic, I could perhaps provide you with a song, if that is what you wish.
And he says,
And
anything, any entertainment. And he says, I'll make it worth your while. He says, I will not only let you have the girl who those morons brought to me. Idiots, all of them.
We ran into the morons.
there is one that seemed okay, but the rest, not so much. So yes.
He looks at you and you say you ran into the morons, and he kind of makes a sniff to the area. He says, well, hopefully you didn't kill too many. I like my meat fresh.
One of them certainly has found out the error of trying to take on our group. So I think that some others aren't going to be helping you out all that much, but at least one.
Okay. So I will I'll pull
Performance?
out my pan flute.
All right, and since a pan flute is a tool, so keep in mind that's a tool. So whenever you're making a performance check using a tool, you can make it an advantage. If you have the thing set up in your pan flute already, you can just run it off the pan flute too.
Right.
But you may just want to run it off
sure
performance.
I'm not
So
sure
when
how
you
to-
click on the pan flute, it'll like ask you if you want to query an attribute, probably.
Right.
So you would just query charisma normally, but
Right.
you may also want to click on advantage, and may also want to see if there's a thing under the pan flute to where you can set it as proficient in it. I think you're already going to be proficient. I think it's already going to be preset like that.
Yeah, that came with my background, so I can just change it to charisma, because I don't imagine using any other kind of attribute for a musical instrument.
Well, I suppose if you're going to swing it at somebody, you could use intimidation, I suppose. But
The things are like this big.
If you're really bad at it, you could use it for intimidation.
I suppose.
that might be a disadvantage, though. It is a pan flute.
That's a 23.
All
My
right,
first good roll of the day.
yeah.
Now that's a good one to do it.
He is enwrapped.
Oh, that is good.
He is enwrapped by the song, and he thinks that is the best thing he's heard in ages, and he says that I will say that there was a strapping fellow through here not long ago who also was good, but with the lute, perhaps the two of you could get together and make some music and come back and see me another time. And he says,
Perhaps.
he says, here, and he puts out, like, grabs into his stash of coins under him and lays out some coins in front of you guys.
This is most generous.
Roll 1d12. And Rich, roll 2d6. And Michael, roll 3d10.
All right, how do I do that?
Okay, you see over on the left that toolbar on the left side of the screen?
Yep.
There's a
Click.
D20 there. You click that, and you said 3D10.
Yeah, 3d10.
So just go over to the D10 and click the 3 in that row.
Okay.
After doing that, I think other people might do it too, but so we don't forget. The Tulip heads on over to the little girl and assures her and says that they've been sent to rescue her and ties her if she's tied or whatever, and says we're here to take you safely back to the village.
So
Oh,
I don't,
Farfig Dugan.
I don't know how many people I have left to audition, but that's okay because I don't know that the 100% of those people are watching this. But this is the 14th time that I've run this adventure, and in light of that, I am going to tell you. So you guys get 900 copper pieces, 80 silver pieces, and 15 gold pieces. But the idea of this adventure is that she is very scared. You of course take her back to her parents. She gives you the gold. They give you 50 gold from that. Um, but the idea is that you've all been conned. This dragon is just sending people, sending the villagers out to get help once in a while, and sending them after, and you know, every few months or every couple of months or whatever, they have a little girl in the village volunteer to come and be the dragon's captive, and waiting for the adventurers to show up and of course entertain the dragon. In which case the town gets paid about 100 gold, of which they give you 50.
Yep.
You know,
And those of us who played it before have to keep their
This
mouths
has been done.
shut
This
about
has been done at least
I've-
14 times.
I've played this before, and I didn't know that.
You
I don't
did.
remember that ever being revealed.
I never
Ah.
revealed it until now. I revealed it to some people, but I've never revealed it publicly till now. So
Yeah. No,
so now that is not the premise of the adventure at all. And there are two different adventures. It's called Burning Goblins. If you wanted to get it on Drive Through RPG, you could go and grab that from, I believe I think it's like Blue Sword Games. Hang on one second. It's yeah, Blue Sword Games. But there are two different versions. There's one that's like a longer, more campaign length type of, like a less of a one shot. The important thing is that that is not the premise, and the content of the adventure is never meant to be a con or whatever like that. But since I've run it so many times, I've made up my own story. The reason that Ragma, which you guys didn't figure out, Ragma ages quite a bit quicker than a normal dragon. He's only like 50 years old, including in the egg. So he's only like 25 years out of the egg, and he's the size of a young adult dragon. And the reason he ages so fast is something to do with the kobolds that stole the egg. Now, the kobolds stealing the egg is in the adventure, but the reason he ages so fast is the kobolds that stole the egg were doing all kinds of magical, experiments on this egg, and of course they worship this egg as an idol. And then eventually the kobolds were wiped out, and the goblins stole it from. They wiped out the kobolds and stole the egg from them, and the rest is history. So yeah, pretty cool, right? Pretty.
Yeah.
The
cool.
idea that it was a con I came up with like almost like right after the second time I ran it. Like, what if this was just a big con game, like, and so I went with it.
I like to shout out to Nibbles there too.
Yeah, Nibbles. Okay, so Nibbles is from another adventure you can get on Drive Through RPG called Madness of the Rat King, and Brandon, in one of our campaigns, he played through that, and I've run Madness of the Rat King at least 4 times, I think 5 times.
Yeah.
But at any rate, Brandon has that rat as a familiar, one of his characters.
Yeah, he became my familiar, which we did that directly after doing this.
Yeah, yep. That same character was in this one. Yep. So what'd you guys think, Michael? What'd you think?
I enjoyed it. I like it.
Okay.
There's just
A lot to learn off the Roll20, right? A lot to get used to.
exactly, yeah. I'm used to different platforms, but they're all essentially the same. I just need to learn this platform.
So I think Michael, you're going to join us. What is it? Next Friday? Are you available next Friday? At about I think we start at 11 a.m., 10 a.m. Hang on, let me look real quick. I don't know my own hours.
Yeah, well.
Is
Grim
this
Harvest.
for the next?
Grim Harvest at 11 a.m. So we start at about 10:30. We gather at about 10:30, and we get in Discord at about 10:30, and we get lined up for cameras, and then
Okay.
we start playing at 11 a.m. on Friday morning, and we play from like 11 to 2, 11 to 3, like that usually.
All right. Now, is this Friday? Is this just a one-off on a Friday morning, or
It is every other Friday morning, starting like, well, for you it'd be starting not obviously not. It'd be starting this coming up Friday.
all right?
And
Right
then
now, that's not a yeah. Right now, I don't see that as a problem.
now we do have a schedule. Here, let me see if I can pull up that Action Surge schedule real quick. Yeah, so there we go. So schedule. Where's the calendar? I'm looking right at it. Okay, so we do have a schedule here. I can share that if you want. But you can look in the stream schedule thing for.
Yep.
Oh wait, that's the wrong thing. Hang on, I'm in the wrong thing. Hold on. 1 second. Let me get rid of that. No. Just want to blind it for a moment. All right. Hang on. I gotta switch accounts real quick. There we are. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. So here, let me unblind this too, by the way. So we put this over us, so I can throw this up in a big size on the stream here. So you can find this schedule if you go to Twitch. You can find it on the Twitch page on the About Us section. There's a panel for the schedule. And let me share it here. And also, if you're on the Discord, we have a channel called Streaming Schedule, and probably, I believe, once a week it pops up in there with. Don't forget to check our schedule. You can see all different holidays right now, but you can see Grim Harvest is the next Grim Harvest is Friday the 13th at 11 a.m.
Okay.
And then the following would be Friday the 27th at 11 a.m.
All right.
And then you can also see like when all the other shows are going to happen too. So 7 p.m. is In Deep and Waterdeep on right after Grim Harvest, and then No Good Deed follows that one on Sunday.
All right.
So yeah, but anyway, so you only need to know about this 13th, and the 27th will be the next one, but it is an ongoing one. It is the one you and I had talked about previously, kind of.
Okay.
So yeah, so I don't know why I left the tavern music and tavern sounds going in the cave, but you know, it's memorable and it's just echoing in your head, I guess. I don't know. But,
All right.
It's a fun cave.
yeah,
The
right?
goblins
I
are part
do.
of goblins.
All right. I do have to cut out right now, though.
Alrighty. And we're done anyways, and we will see you Friday. If you have any questions before that, Michael, if you want to go over anything in Roll20, I can help you with a lot of Roll20. I have too many hours in Roll20.
All right.
I have
I
more
will
hours than
very
allowed
mu-
by law.
I will be reaching out then in the next 3 or 4 days to go over some of that.
Yeah. So, anyways, if you, yeah.
And they all your action surge.
Yeah. Do that. What
Oh,
he
that's
said.
right.
What he said. So
First
yeah.
time.
guys.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna look and see if there's anybody to raid. I don't know if there's anybody to raid, but let's see if there is. Here we can get rid of that again too.
Just put a really good idea.
No, we don't want that. Okay, so yep, Mandari's on. See, so we'll raid Mandari. So /raid Mandari, and we'll try that and see if it lets me. There we go.
All right.
There's a raid thing. All right, see you later, Michael. Have a good one.
All right. Have a good one. All
Take
right.
it
Bye-bye.
easy. I'm meeting you.
Go see Bandari and raid now. There we go.
I went to class, right?
And we're gonna
You have
say
like, it says
to
core
the rest of
rules,
you,
and it
we're
has,
going
like, all
to
of, like, the new
say
icons and
something.
whatever,
I don't know.
And
We're
then
gonna
it
say
has
something.
expanded
Maybe.
rules, and then it has 2014 rules. So
No,
if you're
see,
using the
now you're in there
2014
twice,
stuff,
so
you want to find
you
like the
mute her.
paladin.
All right. So, now I was trying to. Oh, there it is. There it is. Microsoft 365 login. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, okay. And anybody who is still here hanging around, lazing about, not going over and watching Mindaria at the moment, I will say to you, thanks for joining us here on Action Search, where imagination collides with a roll of dice. We battled fearsome foes and forged unforgettable memories together. As this session draws to a close, remember the journey never truly ends. Keep rolling those dice and weaving those tales. Farewell, adventurers, and don't forget to check out Action Search 5e on all the platforms, including Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, so on and so forth, YouTube, etc. Give us likes and subscribes and share. And until next time, may all your actions surge.